Okay. All right. So, hello everybody. It's me, Francisco. Join my good buddy Charles here for Sports Goose. I think we left off at 206, so that's where we're at right now. I've named this the Summer of Goof because a lot has happened since the last time we. God, I don't even think we even did a show this calendar year. So a lot has happened. Charles is
Yeah.
at school. Charles made GameStop do Chapter 11 bankruptcy. He's going for the Chapter 7 in a couple years, actually. If
The
Sony's
heist of the century.
if Sony's about to make some plans right now for PS6, and and the Panthers won the cup, so the summer of goof, summer of petty as well. I've awakened once more to dunk on Canadians, which is great. I haven't had the your prize video, Charles. Do you want me to see me dip the sandwich in the maple syrup?
And we have to kind of explain that.
Yeah, go ahead.
All right. So, hi everybody. We're back. We ain't dead like baby's kids. We don't die. We multiply. I have to say that because I have a nephew again. So there you go.
Yep,
The
that happened.
bloodlines.
That happened
continue.
over the summer. Yep.
Yeah, so much has happened like 3 weeks, and I'm like, okay. So Francisco in the playoff runs, it got kind of tough. It got kind of tough, and he's very anti-Canada, all that fun stuff. Toronto, was it on the semi-conference, was leading like wherever, and
Yeah.
I was like, and I was kind of giving crap to Andrew too, because the thing about Andrew, he's very superstitious in sports, but he did the thing you shouldn't do
Mm.
in sports, and is like take claim super early. Because what do you say, like Florida or hockey runs through Florida? And I'm like, and that's because he's a Lightning fan, and you're a Panthers fan, and the whole everything, right? But I was like, ooh, you jinxed it kind of thing. Or actually, that was after. But then Francisco's down. Like, we're making jokes about, like, the end of the days kind of thing. And how the Switch is the only thing we can live for, but we might not even make it. All this one jazz. And so I told him, like, where's your faith? Where's this? And I had a feeling, man. I'm more hockey focused lately. Last couple of years, last 4 years. I'm like, you could do this. You kind of go and get it and go from there. And they came back, and after like they tied it, I'm like, Francisco. It was like what 2-0, and then became like 2-2. I'm like, Francisco, if they win this, because the whole running joke was about you dipping your sandwich in ketchup from all those years ago. So this was a callback, and I'm like, Francisco, you have to dip a sandwich in maple syrup, especially since you're playing the Maple Leafs. And fast forward, he wins that series. Then they go against the Oilers, and the Canadian team, who is very big on maple syrup, and then it continues. And then I'm just like, brother in Christ, you owe me a video. You could broadcast on the show, I don't care, but you owe Francisco and I, or Andrew and I, a video of you dipping your stuff in maple syrup. So that was it. It was kind of like a gentleman's bargain that Francisco never agreed to, but for anybody who knows me, I have a great way of enchanting people to do things, right? It's about mere obligation.
Yeah.
I play the system on you.
Yeah. Oh, well, in all honesty, I think I would if I do it. I'd probably have some fun with it. I probably, you know what? If I do this, actually now I kind of want to do it. Thinking of this idea, I'd love to.
But you should have done it to begin with.
I know, but I can still do it. It's a summer of love with the Panthers and the Cup. They're parading it around. They're in the Bahamas with it. They're all over the place with it. So I've got an entire summer of celebration going on because you continue celebrating the Stanley Cup until you hand it back to Phil Pritchard and the Hockey Hall of Fame on opening night. So I have this entire summer to do this. And now that I'm thinking about it, now I'm kind of going through it with my head, I'm thinking, man, you know what I would love to recreate, Charles? The hot honey chicken sandwich from Wendy's.
Yeah, but it's not the same. But yeah,
it's kind of there. I mean, I think there's.
We try new foods, guys.
There's got to be.
New foods, sorry.
There's got to be hot, spicy maple syrup, and there's got to be a category for that. I'm sure somebody sells it. I am sure somebody sells it. I mean, you got chicken and waffles. That's a thing as well, right? So it's not that far fetched for me to do that, and I think if I do that, I'd probably make an homage to it. Not exactly, it won't be honey; it'll be maple syrup, but like a spicy maple syrup. I think there's a good possibility for that. Yeah. So yeah, the summer of love and the summer of goof, and in all honesty, I'm just having it's the year of Francisco part deux.
It
Once
really
more.
is. And I have had a hand in it on two occasions. One for being the moral engine of your Panther support and your faith on it. And then also the big thing that happened, which we're going to give to a segment because we're still doing the intro suit. But
Oh yeah,
I guess a man in a brown suit.
I don't I don't really have any direction for this show. I do want to, some things we're always going to talk about the cup and the Panthers winning it again. We obviously have to talk about the course of the summer that we've had so far, our plans for the future, the heist, the greatest heist of the century. So far, at the very least, because I think you can pull it off once again. I think you just did an Ocean's 11. Ocean's 12 wasn't a great movie, but I think you can pull that off too. And then
I
we'll see
would
what happens.
probably break the fourth wall a lot. I would probably just look at myself like, "Hey man, shit."
Yeah, and just kind of go over our thoughts on those things that we've gotten over the course of I guess these 6 months or so since we've been out with all of this. And we've been busy with our lives, me my career, Charles's career, Andrew as well, and Charles in school trying to better himself for some weird reason. I went to a conference as well, a professional conference at a resort in which I did more of the conference than the resort, unfortunately. So that kind of made me feel icky, especially.
Being an adult.
Yeah, and I think overall, the summer has been, or at least the year has been, so far so good for me. I'm happy with my purchases, and I'm running this off of, gosh, that's a new thing as well. I think this is the first time I'm actually running the show off of my new PC, because this is the first time I'm actually running the show off this thing.
To be very fair,
huh?
You have like 50 new PCs.
Yeah. Well, I've made
You're not helping cool the gang here on it, dog.
Yeah, well, this is the 5th PC. I gave Andrew the first one, which doesn't really have an upgrade track anymore, and I made 2, one for my nephew and my niece, and then the 4th one is in my room, and then I built the 5th one out of the remnants of my first one, and I'm very happy with the look and design of it. Charles has seen it. I love it. And then I've got the 6th one in the living room as kind of like a media server for all my DVDs and stuff like that. So, but the first time with this one, it's nice and quiet so far. I love the look of it, and it's running the show way better because it's got some beef inside of it. That's for sure.
Yeah, and that's the thing in our off season, because that's what we're gonna call it. Now we're like the Netflix show production. We're like Stranger Things. We'll wait as long as they want to give you the product, or we'll be like Venture Bros or South Park. You can't rush this anymore. It's too good. We got too good, and we fear the fall off here. But in those chats, in the day-to-day lives, Francisco was just like basically trafficking everything he could to make the guts of his computers fantastic. He was eyeing, looking at all this fun jazz.
Oh yeah,
that was coming.
Yeah,
in.
it was over the course of like a couple months actually that I built it. I purchased every little bit of it. I mean, the only thing that I really transferred from it was the GPU and the memory. Everything else is kind of new in that sense, and I was able to get a great deal on the case itself because I got it off of Goodwill and it was brand new in the box. I don't know who gave up this thing, but I am very happy that they did. And
shout out to Goodwill being supportive.
Yeah, it's been great, and it's gone along really with this setup that I've got here in the studio. So I'm very happy with my purchase of it, and the Fractal North case. I think I think we'll kind of roll into non-sponsors over the course of this show, because I don't think
I couldn't even tell you. Right?
Yeah, right. There's a lot of things I do want to kind of show off. In fact, I'll start with this case actually. So it's the Fractal North So I'm just gonna write this now because we got a ton of these non-sponsors. There's the Fractal North case, Fractal Design. They make some really, really nice looking cases that kind of have this a little retro feel to them with the wood panel finishing on the front. And the one you're looking at on the screen that I'm sharing right now, and actually I'm gonna that's the one, that's the exact one that I got. I got it with the mesh side panel. There's one that comes with the glass as well, but I didn't. My PC is kind of laid out in a way where I can't see the insides, and honestly, seeing the inside of the PC with the colors and everything like that, it doesn't really get me off compared to other people. So it's not really that important for me. I do like the airflow with the mesh design on the side there, and it comes in the regular smaller size, which is the one that I have, and they have like an XL version if you have some really beefy parts that you can't fit inside the regular version. But this is good enough for me, good enough for what I want to do. I've already ran a few games from this year on it, and from the recent years as well. I've shown Charles screenshots of Control and a bunch of other things that I played. Doom Dark Ages is probably the latest actual release from 2025 that I played on it. Good game. I think
you beat it? I don't remember.
I did. I beat it over the course of, I think it was like 20 hours or so, 25 hours. I did it within a nice reasonable time frame before the Great Heist. Actually, the heist was over the course of over a few. Well, I'll let you explain the heist later on. But Doom Dark Ages was also a good game. I played it on Game Pass. Actually, I didn't actually buy it. I just turned in one of my free months that I got for that. So I still have a few months as well to go with that. So use Microsoft Bing, everybody. You'll get some free months of Game Pass with that. But I love this North design. I think my favorite looking computer so far. I think I'm just gonna have this for at least another decade because I really don't want to switch from this. I really do really love the look of this PC. It comes in white and it comes in black, and both versions come in XL, and you can get the ones with the glass panel if you really want to get off on it. But I have the other side of it, which is just plain white. On the other side, no mesh. But you can stick magnets on it. I've got 2 Stanley Cup patches on there for 2024 and 2025 on it, and my Florida Panthers custom logo there. So the Fractal North design, Charles. So that's another thing that's happened since our last show. Let's see, what else can we talk about going forward here? Because I could talk about the Cup. That's for sure. I can get that out of the way. An actual thing about sports, everybody.
Yeah, let's talk about the Cup.
All right.
Andrew's not here for it,
Yeah, he's not here for it. He's not. He's always he's always upset at you whenever you call out the his direct exact words of the Kachuk trade.
Oh man! So can I lead that a little bit?
Yeah, let's just get out of the way.
Twitter is a beautiful place. It's also a terrible place where people think that their opinions are the gospel and all that other fun jazz. Aside from worshiping the ground of false idols, we're not gonna get political on the show, but just saying, right? They also just had some commentary, and then they bring up back something where I don't know. Kachuk had scored. I don't know what led to it, but I remember I just saw highlights. And Kachuk, I think Kachuk had he was the star of the night, one of the playoff games. So I forwarded it because I'm petty, you're petty. Andrew's actually surprisingly petty, and no one will believe it because we've always given this whole thing that he's the neutral side. But the man can be petty, especially when it comes to his sports. We will release the chats one day about it. But we've done
whoever the last of us to die will release the chat.
Yeah, we've done 206 episodes. Probably 80% of it has been the trio of us, and we're talking to chat almost daily, even with how busy we are. When I get a stupid lunch break, I just bombard these guys. But one of the episode highlights I always remember that's sports related was when the Kachuk trade happened. What, it was 2 years ago, essentially.
Yeah, 2022. Yeah.
Yeah, and Andrew was like, I don't think they're gonna make out. I think it's going to be Calgary who does better because I forgot who you guys sent over It was one of your states.
It was we sent two guys, and draft picks to Calgary. We sent a first round draft pick, I think a couple draft picks actually, and Jonathan Huberdeau and Mackenzie Weegar, defenseman.
Yeah.
Huberdeau
went to go die.
Huberdeau was the big prize in that one for Calgary because he had just come off a 100-point season, made a record as a winger for assists in a season, and Matthew Tkachuk was coming off of a slightly down year for him, for sure. But we traded him for that was the swap. One guy. We got one guy, and then he immediately signed an extension for 8 years, and then the rest is history from there.
Yeah. So Andrew, just kind of make it succinct. This is the terrible trade. I don't know if he was just taking the mickey out of you. For a second, I remember hearing things like, this is when I was actually getting my teeth more deep in hockey. So I'm like, I know these guys. Yeah, you know what I mean? I'm like, I know these guys. And Andrew was like, I don't know if he was just being petty to you, joshing you. The kids can still say that. Or if he was serious, and it felt serious. And then he had to eat humble pie. But, a good friend never lets a friend forget. And so I just threw that into the chat. And then it just blew up into the whole thing. He's like, I admit it. It was a bad take. So it means he was telling the truth on it in the chat, that he was serious about it. He's like, how many times have you been wrong? And if you guys know me, I'm either 100% accurate in my takes, say, Garrett Cole, Cy Young,
the side job, yep.
Or I just say things just to play like devil's advocate. I'm not Stephen A. Smith who gets paid millions of dollars to play solitaire and actually not watch the sport, because we have a whole segment called Humble Pie where we'll concede it. And Andrew goes and says, how many times? And I just go say, I'm wrong all the time. Because you are. We're always wrong all the time in sports.
Yeah.
There is no such thing as actually an accurate take. There might be a good take because you're predicting things beforehand. Only a few people get it on the money, Charles Adamas. But on the money, especially in a team-based sport where you're talking about like impact. You know what I mean? So he's just the middle finger emoji. I'm like cackling on it because there's just some episodes that stand out. I do remember that whole thing because you were super excited for Tkachuk.
Yeah,
I don't think you expected Huberdeau's downfall that badly. But
no, I didn't, and I just saw it as okay. Well, Huberdeau was getting on in age. I don't think he probably would have bailed on us anyways, especially if we didn't have any playoff success by that point. And Tkachuk was coming in and like he was so much younger than him and already had a 100-point season under his belt, and I'm just like, okay, well, and he actually had some actual grit to him, some attitude, which I really like because I like guys and teams that have that attitude. It's why we love the Jimmy Butler Miami Heat, right? It's why we
I mean, that was the whole thing about my Jimmy Butler thing. I'm like, screw him on the 76ers. I know he's there. I'm like, oh, he's 17. I'm like, this is great, guys. I'm telling you, it's the penny.
So it's I was excited about that trade, and everything's been great ever since. And the Panthers have been on this upward trajectory, and I just I didn't think it would get to this point. I didn't think.
I mean, it's impressive.
Yeah,
especially
back to back.
What it does is so. Andrew's not here, so he can't defend himself, but this is a sports show, and it's also a fandom show. That's really what we should reclassify it as. It's a fandom show. What the fandom is, we can't tell you. I'm apparently a fandom being cheap, and it's great. You took away all energy and importance that was the Tampa Bay Lightning in this state and in this sport, because it was back-to-back wins and the finals lost.
Yeah. And
then it flips to a finals loss, but back-to-back wins. Mm-hmm. And what's more impressive, right? And Andrew's going to, I can hear him now, getting all that rage coming in, right, of defensive-ness. He's about to go, come in with his Jonathan Cooper, best suit attire.
Yeah.
But, back-to-back wins, and then you lost the finals. You just couldn't do it, right? You just couldn't complete it. Came a little early, bud. I don't know what to tell you. Whereas we lost the finals and we got better and we did it back to back and we're going to do it again. It's a confidence thing. And it made this pseudo dynasty, which I want him here on that combo because I always love revisiting a dynasty argument. But it made the pseudo dynasty that the Lightning have kind of fade right? Because they keep going lower and lower in the playoff appearances and how far they go in the conferences. You've eliminated them both, if I recall, in the last 3 years or 2 years.
So yeah,
You know,
last 2 years. Yeah.
yeah. And it was first round this year, second round last year. So,
first round, both years actually.
oh yeah, so that doesn't help him, right, on this argument that I'm talking about.
Because
what's worse?
they've lost. So the Lightning have lost in the first round the last 3 years. They lost to the Leafs, 2023. They lost to the Panthers the last 2 years.
Okay, well, so the thing is that's the whole problem when you look at the history books, and there's recency bias, but you go into the forward, you know, you could be like the Blues, right? You know, they won a Stanley Cup 8 9 years ago in that time frame, and then it just fades away. And then the problem is you can get the same amount of some of the same players, right? And you're kind of been not just the more successful team, you're big broing them a little bit. You're big broing them a little bit because now you're like you're their firewall. You can't even go further past the first. The Lightning were playing excellent this year.
Yeah, Lightning were a good team this year. They finished higher than the Panthers. They had home ice in the 1st round. Panthers didn't have home ice in the entire playoff,
which is super impressive. But they win the Stanley Cup in 6.
But in all honesty, I think they were at a point where they really didn't care where they were playing. They just because home ice advantage only really matters when it comes to changing players and that sort of thing. But they've already done this 3 times now in a row, getting to the final, and they really don't care who they play and where they're playing them at. So
does it bother you that sports media, and I already know the silly answer, and I shouldn't be going to these people for their love, but does it bother you that in general you have not one but 2 teams in one particular sport that were so good that out of 6 years they were 2/3 of the championship events that came in, and they're just nothing. And I can understand ESPN because of the politics of it, because if we can't get everything on our broadcast, right, then there's a little bit of that issue. But like I'm talking about Bleacher Report, I don't really care for Barstool. I don't consider them as a real.
They're not a real news or sports media outlet in that sense.
Yeah, but the frustrating part is that we say that, but you kind of are when you're mass proliferation on social media. I mean, like every time, and the algorithm, like why is Frank Fleming on my timeline? And Dave Portnoy, I don't know. The thing I only recall about the guy is he gambles, he goes and eats pizza, and then like when he has sex video of the league, I'm like, I don't care, right? But it really gets understated because when you had the San Antonio Spurs doing it 20 years ago, when you had the Lakers doing it 15 years ago, right? When you had the Yankees doing it. And there was times where each of those sports were kind of in the down because that's sometimes the problem of having one dominating team or 2 dominating teams. It takes away the interest, I would think, logically. But it should bolster it because you look at the Lakers, hey, it made the NBA future a little bit when they were on their 3-peat adventure. And then when you look into what the Yankees were doing in the late 90s, early 2000s, and then when you're looking at what the Patriots would do, right, more eyes onto it. But I don't understand why you can't generate that interest, especially like South Florida, right? This is the only true winning team in South Florida that you've had for, I don't know, 11 years, right? Give or take. 12, I can't do math, but it really just kind of makes aware. So what's your thoughts on that being not just that you are the sports media, because he is, folks, also just your fandom?
Well, it's funny. I've reached the point as far as the stuff that I've made since the pandemic, because I started this Panthers history stuff in the middle of that 2022 season when they won the President's Trophy and all that
Perfect
stuff.
Segue. Follow us on Twitter. Yeah. Right? Charles the True, FJOJR Jr., Danfrey Holays, sports_goofs, Panther historian. Get that in there, right? Yeah. Marlins historian.
Yeah.
Everybody else that we recommend.
Yeah.
We're rusty with it.
So I'm at a point where I think I garner more than the outlet that I was covering the Panthers games with when I started this whole thing. 10 years ago now. Yeah, or 12 years ago now, actually.
I know,
Yeah,
it's crazy.
it's been
Like,
12 years when I
lady
started
punching us in the mouth.
covering the Panthers and going to games and doing all that stuff. So, um, it's been quite a journey for me from that perspective, seeing how far they've come because I saw them at the bottom and just started from the bottom. Now they're here, right? And uh, in that
Which
sense,
hockey is really hard because sometimes the bottom is the bottom.
yeah. I mean, look at the Buffalo Sabres. They haven't made the playoffs in 14 years, and you could look at they had an entire lineup of all stars now that they've traded away or just let walk because they just couldn't develop them when they were young, and now they're just perpetually bad. Whereas the Panthers found a way with Bill Zito, and he's really the catalyst of all of this because he came in and he completely turned it around. Former player agent, former was the assistant GM in the Columbus Blue Jackets, and came from a baseball background as well. So he was definitely deep into that analytics game, and that's what they do. But they kind of they mixed analytics with this hockey, I guess traditional hockey sense to kind of create this monster of a team that now the Panthers, when people are comparing them, they're saying that this team has probably been one of the best teams of the salary cap era, which started in 2005. So like and nobody, if I'm going to compare this to the Lightning, and I want to put away the Lightning right now because my opinion of this, and I can make this argument with Andrew from an objective perspective. I'm not trying to say it as a fan, but the Panthers' last 2 Stanley Cup wins were better than and more impressive than the Tampa Bay Lightning's back-to-back wins.
Playing completely on the road.
Just based on the fact that the Panthers had it harder. Now, obviously, Lightning fans are going to say, well, we had to go into the bubble, and it was actually a much tougher experience and all that. I'm not going to buy that because those 2 seasons, the Lightning had to play in a... if they had to have played in a crowd of 20,000 fans in Montreal compared to the Panthers going to Edmonton twice in a row, because the Lightning played in front of nobody against the Dallas Stars for the final, and then played in front of a Montreal crowd that obviously Florida had their COVID restrictions lifted pretty early, so the Lightning pretty much had a full crowd at their arena, whereas the Habs in that final series had maybe 5,000 people at best in the building, all socially distanced. So I don't think that would have been the same if they had 20,000, because the Canadiens actually have the largest arena in the NHL. Would have been different if they had played in front of that type of a crowd instead. And the opponents the Lightning had to face to finish off I don't think were as good, especially in the finals, compared to the Oilers teams that the Panthers had just ousted twice in a row.
I mean, Connor McDavid was Connor McJesus, and you put him on the cross.
The Montreal Canadiens team that they faced was, I don't know, if I had to put it in a baseball perspective for you to understand, Charles, I get the 2007 Colorado Rockies.
I would even give you one a little bit better, because Colorado Rockies can name anybody. It was the Jim Leyland Detroit Tigers, because I think they went to 2 World Series. And I think
the 06 Tigers. Yeah, that was kind of like a miracle team in a sense. The one that lost to the Giants was actually an actual good team. So I'm not gonna compare them to that. But I'm just thinking of a team that.
Are you gonna discredit Connor McDavid and Vander Kane and Draisaitl?
Well, no, I'm not. I'm saying that the Oilers. I'm saying that the Lightning's facing the Montreal Canadiens was like the Red Sox facing the Colorado Rockies. Okay.
Yeah. No. That.
So in that sense, and people are making the argument that this Oilers team was lucky that they won 2 games. And the reason they probably won 2 games was...
It should have been 1 game.
Yeah, it was either 1 game or should have been a sweep. The first game, the Panthers probably lost because of that delay of game penalty with Nosek throwing it over the boards or over the glass. So then they scored right there on the power play. And then the other one where the Panthers just kind of, well, they literally took the foot off the gas and let the Oilers back into that game. And they had this miracle comeback. But besides that, the Panthers dominated for like 233 minutes of leading, of playing with the lead compared to the Oilers having like half an hour or so, like 30 minutes of it. People saying that this team was better than the team from last year, which is for sure, and making one of the greatest mid-season trade deadline deals of all time with Panthers great Brad Marchand, who is
a man who I remember. When we got me really into hockey.
Oh, I told you love this
guy.
The
low-level casual, because I had a Boston Bruins hat. Because my brother-in-law, for whatever reason, got me one. He was like, "You like Boston, right?" Because I went to Boston like one time on a trip. Thanks, Walter Lovin. Shout out to you. But and then I'm like, then I follow Marchand. I'm like, oh yeah, he's a goon. I love that. Sure, he's good too.
With a heart. Yeah.
Yeah, well, I can empathize with that. He's petty, he's jerkish, he's effective, he's confident, and he's got a heart. I'm like, he's the equivalent of me on the hockey field. Sure.
Yeah, and he's this season especially, him going to the Panthers of all teams, selecting them, and then just completely meshing with them and making them even more loose than they've ever been. The whole Dairy Queen thing was fantastic.
I like that. That is, I'm stupid, but I believe food, brings people together and brings a lot of stuff, and I feel that same way. That's why I try some stuff for you guys, that you'll never eat. But I would definitely buy you guys like flaming hot Cheetos and stuff.
Yeah.
It's just one of those things.
Let's see.
Well, go ahead. Tell us about the Marchand love.
Yeah. Well, Brad Marchand coming in and playing an immediate impact, putting him on that third line. Third line was fantastic with him, Eetu Luostarinen and Anton Lundell playing. As a lot of people said, that third line would be half of the league's first lines, and a few of the top teams' second lines. So that's how good the Panthers put together. Just put this team so well together.
How good does Paul Maurice have a finger on the pulse? Because you heard the whole fourth line commentary, right?
Yeah. Paul Maurice is definitely a player's coach. He's been
pure motivator.
He started early. He's only 58 years old, by the way. He's been coaching since like 1996 or so. So he's been at this a long time. And when you hear him speak, you can just hear how knowledgeable he is, how he's got this kind of Zen focus to him a little bit. In a sense, I can kind of sort of compare him to like Phil Jackson in that sort of sense. And he has this reverence for his players that I think resonates so much with them that they go out and go through a wall for him. And he rewards and he remembers things, and training camp is so hard, and the way that they play is so hard, but they bought into this system in the way that they play, which is dump the puck in, minimize risk, and just get at it to get the puck back as much as possible. And teams don't play that way. Most teams don't play that way, and a lot of teams may be trying to copy what the Panthers are doing. But I don't think anybody's actually really been effective at it. The Carolina Hurricanes, it seemed like that they would be the team that could give the Panthers a run for their money. When they went into that series, people really thought the Canes had a shot because the Canes play a little bit of that Panthers style, but the Panthers play it to such a perfective T that they are the standard. And the Canes were substandard in that sense, and you saw
you
it.
Always want to be the mold too, folks.
Right. So the Carolina, so the Lightning series was just vitriol between both sides of Florida. I said some heinous things. I know Andrew was really mad at me.
Well, God bless Andrew, but he is
'Cause
not a certified shit talker.
yeah,
One.
and I was ready for that series because man, oh man, and you know me, the whole Champa Bay thing, I fucking hated that thing one.
Yeah. You
So
can't crown yourself, man.
yeah,
When you
so
only have one thing winner too.
yeah, they lost the World Series. Come on now. We had that. 2023 happened, and we lost. We lost the. We lost the Stanley Cup. We lost the NBA Finals. The Marlins lost in the first round of the playoffs, and the Dolphins are the fucking Dolphins too. And but then 2024 happens, and the Panthers beat the Lightning. Exercise their demons. Then they come back again this season, and they do it again. When everybody was favoring the Lightning to win that series, there was like a Lightning in 5, Lightning in 6, and that was because the Panthers were going into that series. They had injuries because Kachuk had was injured. Ekblad was suspended, and
Oh my God, Andrew, is like the torchbearer of clean hits. He'll tell you if it's good or not. And me, I'll be honest with you, I can never tell the difference because why? You get a lot of subjective refereeing. So if I see it happen, I think I told him, and he's like, nah. But if I see it happen on one end of the spectrum, and then it happens, and it's called a foul or penalty or wrong hit, whatever you want to call it, and it's not the next one. If it's not consistent to me, it's not that effective thing, right?
So I'm
35. I can't do the whole this is bullshit. 5. But
So-
you know what I'm talking about.
yeah, I get it, and I was I'm going through my Panthers historian page right now. You're getting a timeline of the playoff for the Panthers as I'm going through the Lightning round, and Aaron Ekblad laying down the elbow, and there
was some WWE stuff. I was enjoying hockey thoroughly.
Yeah, the Panthers Lightning series was, and the Panthers will tell you that was the hardest of the 4 rounds. That was the hardest one because those teams were legitimately trying to kill each other, and
which is what you want. Every sport needs a rivalry, and the fact that you have a in-state, in-division, conference rivalry,
yeah,
and that's a recipe for success.
Oh yeah, yeah. So I mean that I think it was very cathartic for Panthers fans to kind of, not only did they beat them last year, but then they just just completely tore the skin off the Lightning with everything that they got, and they got Jake Gensel and all these guys, and they're like, we came back, and it's like, okay, fine, but then their culture gives up their captain in Steven Stamkos, and I honestly think that probably affected them more than they think it did. So
he was just average on the Predators, right? But
the Predators was a disaster for him. But I honestly think it's just because it's a symbiotic relationship. I don't think I think they should have kept them in some way, shape, or form. But in any case, we beat the Lightning. The Leaf series was I was on the ledge for a couple times there, but it was very clear. And it was just funny that the Panthers just kind of did that to the Leafs again, and Leafs fans are awful. I will say this, and I don't think anybody...
Yeah, I saw some of those chats. Listen, that's why I go back on Twitter. Y'all talk all that smack, but would you say that to somebody's face?
Yeah. So Leafs fans are awful human beings. They've suffered so long that it just kind of gets to me that they don't realize how much their awfulness rubs off on their players in a negative sense where they can't even perform anymore. And they're so angry about the state tax and all that stuff. And honestly, the players probably don't give a shit, 3 or 4 maybe, about that at all. I think it's really, y'all are just a fucking shitty fan base, and nobody wants to play for you. Nobody truly wants to play for the Toronto Maple Leafs.
Yeah.
At this stage of the game, because they've created an environment through their media, through their fan base, that it's just unattractive. I remember Aaron Ekblad, he had an interview about 2016 when the Panthers won the division that year. And he's like, yeah, you go into Toronto and the media circus that they have. He's like, it makes me cringe when I see it, when I think about it. And he's from Windsor, Ontario. He's a Red Wings fan when he was growing up, so he wasn't really about that. And I think his sentiment is the sentiment of a lot of players who are like, I can just go down south, enjoy an actual winter that I can actually go out and enjoy, and I get to play the sport and do what I can, and the fans are going to love me, and the fans are going to leave me alone, leave my family alone, not send me death threats or anything like that. So
Thank you, Vladimir Jagr, for setting the way.
Yeah, there's a lot of players that kind of brought that together. So that's the Leafs series. The Canes series, Canes fans are very cordial. I think that was just the fact that they couldn't get into being
it's just never going to be their time, is it?
Gosh, man, it really they've been unlucky in the sense that they got good, but they got good at when with other teams being elite, like the Boston Bruins before that, the Panthers now, where they just can't get through. And
you're basically doing the warm up for the real champions on the bench, bud.
But I honestly think a lot of these teams, the issue, not the Lightning don't have this issue, but from what I could tell, but the Leafs don't have a goaltender. And yeah, I know people, Sam Bennett gave the people's elbow to Anthony Stolarz, but in the Leafs series, but I don't think Stoley would have backstopped them to a victory anyways. And then the Hurricanes didn't really have a goaltender. They switched goaltenders, and then the Oilers went through a goaltender controversy in the middle of the final.
Which time to have it.
Yeah. And the Oilers series, like, I honestly, I did respect the Oilers as a team because I saw it last year. I'm like, well, they took us to 7 last year when we hit 3 and then they came back. So I'm not going to take this team lightly. And I don't think the Panthers did, aside from game 4 when they were up 3-0 and they blew it. I think that was the only time that they actually let the foot off the gas and let them back into the series. But after that, they're like, well, screw it. We're just gonna lay down the law and just be the best team in hockey, which they honestly truly believe.
All gas, no brakes, man.
And then they beat them, and the celebration and all that. And the celebration has been wild. It's been wilder than it was last year, especially with Brad Marchand going into. You saw him at 11, and Alexander Barkov trying to walk him away because he wanted to get back into the club around 5 a.m.
The elbow room, man.
Oh, that was the elbow room, but it was also at 11 as well. And Brad Marchand was having a fantastic time down here. I think he's probably he honestly probably, if I think if someone had to ask him which was a better party, I think he thinks this one would be better than the one they had in Boston in 2011. That's for sure. So Marshy and all these guys celebrating. The Panthers, there was a "fuck the Oilers" chant that I think Gadjevich was in on as well, or AJ Greer. Brad Marchand wearing an Edmonton Losers sticker on his shirts.
He was just king of trash talk coming in, man.
I mean, he's always been. That's his whole deal. He is a shit talker, 8, or maybe 9, maybe even 10, and he's man, I love that guy. I can see why Boston loved him so much and why everybody hated him. Everybody wants a Brad Marchand on their team. Everybody wants a Brad Marchand on the team, and because he can talk the talk and he can back it up. And going through this entire celebration, I've been very happy. I've been doing fantastic on the socials because of it. So thank you to everybody that bought shirts and things like that. I'm very happy with the way the season went. I thanked everybody. I recorded games. I posted clips. I did everything like that. So it's been a very long journey for me as on both sides of this spectrum for the Panthers. So people congratulating me walking through the airport wearing a Panthers jersey, and people at work congratulating me. It's been great.
Time to be alive.
Yeah. It's a great time to be alive for a Panthers fan right now. Everybody's kind of it's like I said, it's a summer of love right now. And I guess to put a bow tie on this or a bow on it, um, I, I'm they can do this again next year.
Hmm.
They just
I think March comes back.
I think
Marchand comes
I think
back.
well I man, I know Aaron Ekblad wants to stay. I know Sam Bennett definitely wants to stay. I mean, he said it. He said it as
Yeah.
much. Marchand and Bennett are the ones saying, "Sign us back up. We're ready to go." I think they would probably be in talks to kind of like arrive at a number where they're all happy with the number.
Hmm.
I think Aaron Eckler was the only one that, if you heard his speech at the Cup celebration, the parade, he was the only one that said, "My agent told me not to say what Benny said." So I think he's gonna hold out for a little bit more, but I can't even think of Aaron Eckblad on another team. I don't even know where he would go. Some people say he'd go to Anaheim, but I'm like, Anaheim. I know Anaheim's building a team, and they traded Zegras and all these things. He's got some teammates out in Anaheim, like Gudas, but I don't see him going from the Panthers to the Ducks, who are still in a rebuild right now, and
I feel like they're always in a
and
rebuild.
and are in a very tough Pacific Division with the Oilers and the Golden Knights and the Kings as well. The Flames are, I think, if they made some smart trades, they could actually make the playoffs for once. And the Canucks had a down year, but I don't think that will last long. And then you have the other teams in that division. The Sharks are just going to be terrible for the time being. Yeah. So that's as far as the rest of hockey is concerned. Yeah, the Panthers. I think anybody, and then next year is going to be a huge year because McDavid's last year under his current contract.
Yeah, it feels like he's heading out. I mean, I saw him watching his interviews, and you can only give so much. But we grew up in the LeBron era of I love Cleveland. I love Cleveland.
Hmm.
Every defeat, you see that dead, cold, distant eye. It's like a father who doesn't want the kid kind of thing.
Mm-hmm.
That's what I saw with Connor McDavid.
Yeah. I think for McDavid, he could usher in an era, if he does this, to be like LeBron and do this in the NHL, because the NHL doesn't really see players move around that much within a season. It's not really within a season, or at least go to a team to, I don't know, form a super team or anything like that. I think if McDavid did that, it could usher in an era where players are actually really doing the ring chasing. You kind of saw it with the Detroit Red Wings in the early 2000s, even late 2000s as well, where guys are trying to sign on and try and win a ring with them, kind of like with the Lakers around that era. But you haven't seen a player go out and try and form a team with somebody else, or go out ring chasing again and trying to join a team that's already established, like Kevin Durant did, right? So I think if any player could do it, it would be McDavid, because he would set the standard. And yeah, he'd probably get glommed on all over the place on TSN up there in Canada if he did go to, especially if he went to an American team. If he did do that, especially if he went to, like, I don't know, the Panthers or somebody, or like the Carolina Hurricanes or the Vegas Golden Knights, somebody like that, where they're already established, they're already in this window right now. I think Vegas is still kind of in that window. Colorado's definitely kind of in that window. Like, I could see something like that, McDavid, McKinnon, where if they just found room for all of them, they'd be like, oh, wow. So the salary cap is going up. So I think some teams
There's
should.
talks of 84 games as well.
Yeah, talks of 84 games, which I don't like. I think we have enough games as it is. But I think he's going to be. Nobody should be making big moves right now until once we get to that trade deadline next year. And if he hasn't signed an extension, or if the Oilers are like, yeah, we're not going to move him because they probably see like, hey, let's see if we can get one more window out of this and see if we can do one more thing and try and re-sign him over the offseason. I think every team, much like when LeBron was a free agent, should just start planning around trying to sign him if you're on the cusp of something great, right?
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. He's played in Edmonton, Alberta, so any other city was probably just going to be a bigger market, anyways. So he could go to Carolina, right? He could go to Dallas. He could go to Vegas. He could go to New York with the Rangers, right? There's a few teams. He could go to Toronto, where Toronto or Montreal, just teams that are either trying to get over the top or trying to usher in a new era. Or he could do the unthinkable and come to Florida. But yeah, that's the story of next season.
That would also be good though for hockey, and this is my finishing thoughts on it, because you got stuck with poster childs, I think, throughout the years. Like, you always knew who Sidney Crosby was, right? Now he's a Michigan, something like that. But it's these homegrown drafted guys who go on and win. And I don't know the MVP trophy names, either the Conn Smith or the Corey Hart one, whatever.
Yeah,
right?
the Hart, yeah.
Oh, okay, I knew it was something, right? It's confusing. You gotta give like real names, man. Don't give me real names. You gotta legitimately just give me like best player. It's easy, right? It makes sense because there's always gonna be that one person like, what did they name that? Why is Jerry West the logo? But I think it does put an eye on interest because, unfortunately, in the sports world, to get people more invested on talking about, to get the water coolers it takes, you need inconsistency with stars. Not just staying in the same place for so long. Like, how long has Sidney Crosby been with the Penguins?
Well, that's another question next season. There's a few things. Yeah.
But like the end of the game, though, in comparison to like in the prime, a little bit over the prime, stuff like that, unless you're like the big trade asset. And I think it actually did wonders for the NBA to a degree to get and I know we hate the casual viewing, but the thing is, the diehards are always going to be there. We're expendable to a degree, guys, as being diehard fans, because we're always going to be reliable, and then we'll probably indoctrinate the children and the families and the girlfriends and the boyfriends and the husbands and the wives about our sports fandom. But how do you get the casuals, right? Those are the valuable ones who will just kind of buy your jerseys, and that's what KD's done. Been 5 different teams, not my own team, for whatever reason. You asshole. Pat Riley. 6, 7. I don't even know if it's his fault, though. I wouldn't have traded all that stuff for KD. I've wasted enough of my breath on KD in the last 6 years of the show. But you do that in hockey, it might create more excitement because who's your sexy free agent, right? Because they don't let them go because of how bad the salary cap has been. It's kind of like, okay, we'll kind of, no pun intended, cap your abilities to go and consider free agency. So maybe Leon should do it. Not Leon, sorry. Connor McDavid should do it.
Yeah, well, I'll tell you this: if the Oilers want to have a chance of keeping him, they better go out and get a goalie. Because I think he's got to look at, if he's making this decision, like, can they put you over the top? Because so far you've got close, but now
part of the other issue too is that he was dead silent for all but one game.
Yeah. Well, that was the other criticism for him, is that in the games that mattered the most, Game 6 this year and Game 7 last year, he was gone. But I honestly think he doesn't have enough around him. He has probably the second best player in the world alongside him, and they've got nobody else after that.
Well, if you told me that Brad Marchand and Sam Bennett were going to be responsible for a quarter of your entire postseason run goals, right? Yep. That's a lot. This ain't football, man.
Yeah.
That's TV and stuff like that.
But you could see it in Game 6 and in Game 7 last year, where him and Draisaitl were out there every other minute, and they can't play 60, and having them play 30 is insane for forwards, and you can't clone them.
Yeah.
And you
And
could
they just
tell
shipped off
they.
Kane.
Yeah, I mean that was a thing. I mean, Evander Kane's is expendable for in that
He's a
sense.
defensive guy.
Well, he's a forward, but but no, he's just a piece that they just had to get rid of because they had some salary cap issues with that. But in any
No.
case, they've got nobody else around them. They actually had better depth this year than they had last year, and they still lost in the way that they did. And I think if Edmonton doesn't get a goaltender and if they don't get better guys around them, he should walk. In my honest opinion, he should walk and just go someplace else, even if it's Toronto. I don't care, because that would be funny actually if he fails there too.
We got to kill brand loyalty in hockey.
But I
You
could
have to
see
realize
him
that too.
going. I mean, if he had to, I could see him going to a team like the New York Rangers or something like that. So,
Oof.
anyways, yeah, and I guess to close that, who was it? Who was it said this? I think Matthew Tkachuk said it best. When things were down, I think it was Matthew Tkachuk or maybe Agent Greer actually. When things were down, the Oilers looked to two guys. When things were down for the Panthers, they looked to everybody else. So that speaks volumes. All right, 57 minutes in, Charles. So we got through the cup talk. Let's talk about the coup
It
talk.
was good sports analysis.
Yeah. So we cup talk. Let's go through coup talk. Okay. So you pulled off something that has been in the works, and anybody wants to listen to the back catalog of this show. I don't know when the earliest mentioning of this proposal started.
I think at least 3 years ago.
Yeah, it's gotta be
Give or take.
like out of the pandemic, out of the COVID restrictions and all that stuff, out of the social distancing. Around that time when we were just noticing our Nintendo Switches were just kind of like they were chugging along a little bit. And
I think it was around the time Pokemon Scarlet and Violet came out.
yeah, maybe around
Had to
that
be.
time, or just like where we were saying like, okay, Tears of the Kingdom, and it's like, okay, this is the swan song for the system, and we're gonna gear up for whatever's coming next, right? Because Tears of the Kingdom came out in 2023. Yeah, it was
2 years ago.
around after Splatoon.
We beat it around 2 years ago
Yeah.
this time. Dude.
Yeah, after around Splatoon 3 came out, and we had fun with that, and then Tears of the Kingdom came and went, and we're just like, what's left after this? And but the plan started around that time frame for what would eventually be called the Nintendo Switch 2. We didn't know what it would look like, but we knew it was coming. And
We were confident it was a Switch 2.
yeah,
Wasn't going to be like this weird
yeah,
switch off.
yeah, Nintendo wasn't going to do what Nintendo does normally. And you started laying the groundwork.
Foundation. I had a dream. Francisco.
Yeah, let's go. I had a
Because-
dream.
Everything is too expensive. And mind you, I will spend money unnecessarily on food and drink. Why? Because you're either going out, you're making an event of it, and stuff like that. You're not doing it on a daily basis, right? You go on trips or anything like that. I play a lot of video games. I have very limited hobbies. Do I wish I had more hobbies? Sure. But, I can't garden and I don't cook. Sorry, ladies. But it's one of those things where the video games, I can do it for many reasons. Right now, I'm playing a certain game and I'll make the big reveal on while, we get to the point. But, it's a way to diffuse, deal with life, just enjoy some stuff. I've been playing games since I was like 4 or 5 years old. I wouldn't say I'm a hardcore gamer these days as you get older. Just a gamer, man. We're classic vintage in this sense. So, we're going through and I'm like, I got these games, and everybody was just gifting me all this stuff. They're like, oh, hey, what if we gift him, this, and what if we gift him that? And I'm doing trade-ins because I'm always a mastermind on the trade-in. And I just said, you know what? What if I'm able just to consolidate this? Because I'm almost certain this is like GameStop really falling badly. This is when they're just kind of like at the C, not C minus edge yet. I'm like, I'm pretty certain I could just get that system for free if I just develop it. Because I'm thinking about like how much. You get a birthday and get Christmas, right? So you're at least going to get $50 to $100 between people.
Mm-hmm.
And then you trade in your game. So I create this whole thing, and no one believes me when I say, oh, yeah, I don't really pay for games. Like, yeah, there's sometimes I actually pay legitimate money for games, like $20 or $30, right? That's usually if there's like a leftover. it's just depending on the times. But I don't even make that happen. Games going $60, $70, going 80, right? But I was like, all right, if I get a trade in this, trade in that. So I'm like, okay, I'll take whatever this amount is from people, and then I'll just funnel to something else. So I'm using other people's purchases essentially for me, for my big thing. I'm like, I'm gonna get the Switch 2 for free. I feel it. I'm gonna do it. Fast forward 3 years later, and a lot of anxiety leading into it because, spoiler, I fucking did it. And I did it in the funniest way possible where I couldn't really achieve it, but it's the help of a friend, love you, Chris, you're my non-sponsor for this shit,
Yeah.
who was able to get it for me in Jacksonville. And the funny part is that he did this for me back from my PS5 days. I'm like, no, it's okay. I can wait out. He's like, no, I'm going to get you this. So he was able to get, the irony is like, I didn't end up getting the bundle, but I had enough for residual anyway.
He was your Sam to your Frodo.
Pretty much.
He had to get you across the finish line.
Yeah, and so the end story, because I could speed up, but you guys knew I was kind of planning it. The final trade-in amount from gift card, and I didn't trade in my Switch. I still have it. I kind of want to keep it because the thing is the Joy-Cons, you can't trade them in without the Joy-Cons, so why would I want to give away a free controller, right? It's dumb. If it's broken, sure, but that's also the Splatoon controller that I got, so I'm like very fond of it.
Yeah.
So the final end result was I had like $549.14 on just all my entire GameStop. And then I have like all of this credit card bonuses, and I know people are like, oh, you should do credit cards, they're bad for you. You need credit in life. Because we don't die till like 90 these days. And you need stuff because Social Security money, and we all have bad retirement plans, the economy is tanking. You gotta find a credit line. But I was like, okay, I got all these credit cards. I'm like, let me just use the Discover credit that I had. So I converted that to like $115. So I had a like just e-credit for GameStop because the beautiful thing, shout out to you, Discover, is that instead of just cashing out, you can just like buy into a gift certificate and you get like 100 is what I actually used, but I got an additional 15 out of it. So my final score, guys and gals, was $657. And I had to ship the card off to my friend. Yeah. And I was so paranoid because I don't trust nobody when I have a great plan, because you have to do this, we have eyes. I bought a regular card from like Publix, like a gift card, not a gift card order, but whatever, right? Like a card that you mail out, like graduation. I mailed it to him, but I didn't do it through US mail because I was like, no. I went to UPS. Yeah. And I had it like documented, and they paid out. So I spent like $50 just to send this thing there. And then Chris was able to get it, knock it out, ask me if I wanted a Pro controller, and I'm like, no, because it's all backwards compatible, all that stuff. So I got that. I go and I get Mario Kart. I get it, right? And the irony is, like, I couldn't even enjoy my big coup on like day 1 or day 2, right? Because that'd be shipped to me, and I didn't pay for shipping because there was like money owed.
I think I got mine before you got yours, right?
But it's fair though, right? The business got, and we're gonna talk about that in a second. Like,
I mean, you didn't even talk about pre-order night. Remember pre-order night?
Pre-order night. Well, we're gonna leave it to you to tell your story because this is my journey.
Yeah.
You get to tell your journey. Because this is something we've been looking at for a while. So I finally get her. I'm like, whoo! You know, that was like a little giggle. I think I told you, I'm gonna unbox her naked, bro. Like I just got to. You know, but I did it. I swear. But I did that, and the one thing I hate about Nintendo is like it is the most accessory-heavy company in all the console fandoms.
Oh yeah.
And I go back through all the years. But they're like, I looked at her because she's beautiful, she's big, she's thick, she's powerful. She's basically my little game Latina. I love her so much. And console Latina. And I'm not giving her a name. You know, it's a console. I don't name any of my consoles that. Like, you know, there's Ramona and Jolene, but no. But I'm like, all right. I looked at it. I'm like, I can't play this handheld. I got to get the Amphil anti-glare glass for $15. Got that. That was hard to apply because I can do it right. And I'm like, I need a hard case because, you know, with this, I don't know if I should put it on the air or not, but opportunity, if I'm traveling a lot, that's all I can say for the purposes. But if I'm traveling a lot, I'm like, what kind of case I want? Well, I went to Walmart and I just got their typical strong on case. I'm like, this is fine, $17. I'm like, that's what you do. You build small with the accessories because I remember with the Wii, remember the plastic gel protector that you get for the Wiimote? What is a rubber pad gonna do? And then, oh, you want to get the Rumble Pack? You want to Wii accessory? I'm like, no, Nintendo. I'm not dumb here. I'm not dumb here. So I got her, and as we speak, because I was building up to this, I'm playing Mario Kart Tour because I beat Liza P earlier today, or World, Mario Kart World right now. And then I had just popped open the Pro Controller 2 to try out live as I'm talking to you. And I wasn't going to buy it, but then I got like sad boy purchase. Not sad in a bad way. I just have an interesting opportunity in life, and I'm just like, so I'm like, let me just go spend money and make myself feel good. And that's what I did. It wasn't even a drunk purchase. It was just me doing it. Because, you know, stuff happens. So I'm very satisfied with her. And this is my thought. Now I want to have you tell your story. Because you can talk about pre-order and stuff like that. Me, I had it on lock, but in some way, shape, or form, or fashion, because I have very obsessive friends. But for anybody who's expecting a revolution of game consoles, you're silly. I got an evolution. I'm playing Mario Kart on Ramona in actual 4K, bro. What? You know, like, and I was able to fix the HDR rendering, so be mindful when you dock it. But I knew something was up watch because, you know, I have the eye for it, so I had to play with the nodules a little bit, go from there, the nits, and I was like, all right. But this is the happiest I've been. It's faster, it's good. People complain about games, but I'm a multi-console guy, so I could just come back. And I played Pokemon Scarlet, put 10 hours into it, and I'm like, dude, I have no issues. I just got Pokemon's coming out, man. Like, I feel like Hugh Hefner of all the Playboy bunnies. They're just there, waiting to catch them all. And I'm in on that right now, after some Mario Kart Tour. So I did it. I can't believe I lived long enough to do it, and I can't believe GameStop stayed in business long enough. And here's the funny part, my guy, and everybody else, I still have $104 left in the GameStop gift card. So when I talk about a heist, I double tapped it. You know, on the zombie movies, you don't shoot in the head, you do it a second time. I literally did that. I'm like, nah, you ain't coming back from this. I'm pretty sure I can't go in there. When I go to the GameStop where I live, the guy's real cool. He's like, you know, I've known him for a while, and he knows like the big plan. And I'm sure he's like, I can't believe you did it. Like, no, I'm like, it's just unfortunate I couldn't do it here because I tried to get in line on my lunch break, and I was like, no, I can't do it. I gotta tell you right now, y'all motherfuckers gotta use deodorant. I was in that line for 20 minutes, and you're in the mall GameStop because they close out and stuff, and y'all just smell.
Yeah, we know.
Dr. Bronner's peppermint soap. Makes your genitals jingle a little bit, but it's fine. And then Armor Right, and maybe some cologne, because oh my god, man.
I mean,
I don't like the Tadpie, you know, like festival there.
Oh yeah, I mean, you know, gamers, especially Nintendo gamers that are
no, these are just regular dudes. These are not stereotype people. That we
on. Oh wow, never mind. Yeesh. Yeah. Get that together. My god. Yeah. So the big coup. I think it was just amazing. It was an amazing few months actually. When did the pre-orders happen?
About April.
Yeah.
It was around April.
Yeah, because
March was the announcement, because I was in court trying to get this person to restrain order. I'm like,
so I remember.
Your Honor, I hear you, but have you looked at this?
So I remember pre-order night, right? So that was quite a night for sure. I think what happened on that night.
I was so confident I was gonna get it too. I didn't sweat it.
Hold on, I just want to see exactly what day that was, and then we'll switch to pre-order start date.
I think it was the beginning of playoffs for you.
April 24th, 2025. April 24th, 2025. So I think it might have fallen on around the beginning of the Stanley Cup playoffs between the Panthers and the Lightning. Because I remember I was watching the games, and I was doing my thing on the socials and everything like that, while you were manning the computers and the phones.
Yeah.
You were basically like, you know, back in the day when the radio contest, you had like 1,000 phones to try and call the number, right? So I
could only do this through GameStop for me.
Right.
And that's what people don't realize. There was
you had a handicap in a sense.
Yeah. Well, one of my friends like, well, why don't you just do it at whatever? Because they were gonna do Walmart, Best Buy, and all that, and then just use your stuff for games. I'm like, I don't think I'm gonna use $600 worth of games. Seriously, the way I do stuff, the way I buy things, it's just gonna grow. I needed that white. You know what I mean? I had to
Yeah,
kill the monster I created.
April 24th, 2025. It was game 2 against the Lightning. That's what it was.
Yeah.
So I was preoccupied with that.
Poor Andrew having to deal with that chat that night.
Because
I was just blowing it the fuck up.
Yeah, and it was two different things, right? It was two different things.
Mm-hmm.
Me posting Panthers
I
stuff.
had my laptop, my work laptop, and my phone.
Yeah, and
I was like, I'm getting this.
The Panthers won 2-0 on that night, so he couldn't go on Twitter because I was posting all kinds of shit. 11 with that, and you were all over the place with the especially as midnight was about to hit, right?
And GameStop crashed. For anybody who know, GameStop crashed.
It did. And
until 1 in the morning, and it crashed. And 1:30.
I was so preoccupied with
I was running on 3 hours of sleep because I always have to wake up at 5.
That's right. And I remember that you were not lucid around, or you were lucid at the time, but barely enough.
I was dying.
And
so bad.
Yeah, you were up like at 5 a.m. that day, or for whatever reason. Yeah. I forgot why. But
because my Vero court, starts at 9, so I've got to meet clients like 8:30, and Vero's an hour and a half from me.
Yeah.
Give or take.
Yeah, so you got up.
You can't be late for court, guys.
Yeah.
Not when you have multiple hearings. You can't be late. Sorry.
So yeah, you were up that day, and you knew you were on lock for the GameStop thing, so you were limited to that. But I was so preoccupied with the game, and then I was like, I didn't know if I would get the Switch on day 1, and then suddenly, but like I was looking at your post, I'm like,
you were not as intense as I was.
No, you weren't. But you were running on fumes. You were. I think you had like some, like Mount Everest people get summit madness. You kind of had the version of that for the Switch too.
I was talking so much shit in that chat too. I was inconsolable might be the appropriate word, but I was not a great person that day.
And around when midnight was about to hit, and I was just kind of done with the Panther stuff, I'm just like, I kind of had to get my brain rewired. I'm like, all right, yeah, switch to, and I had the apps on. I was on GameStop, I was on Best Buy, I was on Walmart, and I just kind of got it into like my head, like, okay, all right, okay, it's loading, and like I was starting to get hyped up, and then Doug was texting me, OG of the show, and he was waiting for it, and so like then it just became, because we don't really have the midnight releases like we used to anymore.
Yeah, and that's what makes this so fun.
Yeah, and it wasn't during like, because the PS5 Xbox Series X version of this was like so bad. Like it was
also during COVID era too. So
yeah,
it's just like
it was during COVID era. Everybody was in. It was the only thing to do, but like all the scalpers took everything, and it was just like it just made it bad. And I like the fact that Nintendo made so many Switch 2s that they kind of erased like anybody that really wanted one, anybody who really wants a Switch 2 or really wanted it, at least at the beginning, got it.
Get it right now.
Yeah, my brother-in-law walked into Target and just bought one.
End of the month, my buddy got one too.
Yeah,
she was like, "How is it?" I'm like, "It's great. You should try to get it." And she got it.
Yeah,
like just saying. I'm like,
so I commend Nintendo for that one. But the night of the pre-orders, because it was going on Twitter, seeing everybody else trying to, posting their screenshots. I'm in line. And it felt like being in line, at Best Buy in 2006 on the coldest night in Palm Beach County history, waiting for the Wii to come out, getting up at 5 a.m. and waiting there with my sister. It felt like that, a communal thing. And ultimately, it was you that came in clutch for me on that night because you got it. I waited on Best Buy, I waited on Walmart, and you got it through Walmart.
Yep.
So you locked yours down. Your buddy, he locked yours down, right?
He locked mine in the next day because that's when it was in person.
Okay,
he was like, let me go to my lunch break in Jacksonville, and then he was able to get it. He was like, oh hey, I couldn't get the bundle. I'm like, all right, well let me see if I can get the bundle because I wanted to save money.
Right.
But I was unsuccessful in getting the bundle at the 2 GameStop drops. So at the end of the day, I'm like, this doesn't matter.
So then of course time passes. Then June 5th hits, day of the release and all that stuff, and I was excited because you were getting mine, but that also became a little bit of an adventure as well.
But my God, so it's like the Odyssey, right? And
Mario Odyssey.
So I'm like, right, Charles is honestly going into it. So I'm literally like, I had to be in Lauderdale anyway for a learning conference. I'm like, this is perfect. Walmart said they're gonna have it at like 9. I'm leaving at 9. All that fun jazz. I'm like, I can do this. I'm trying to get in touch with you, and it's super early when I'm texting you. Like it's like 6, 7.
And I don't wake up.
Yeah, and I'm like,
I sleep through earthquakes and whatever. Like I'm knocked out. You cannot reach me at all.
Well, I don't sleep. That's what people need to know. I function best at 4 hours. You give me 4 hours and 1 minute, I'm like a zombie. It's terrible. That's why I love my caffeine. So I wake up. It's like 5 already. I'm up. I'm like, all right, let's go. And I see the thing from Walmart saying, hey, blah, 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 your stuff's been delivered. I'm like, oh. And I'm like, let me pop out here and go and get this man his stuff. And there's nothing there whatsoever. I'm like, what? And I'm like, the worst thing has happened. I'm like, this man who is entrusting me with his happiness, this promise, we're about to be Eskimo brothers in gaming, and I can't find it. And I look at, I'm looking, I don't even have the app. I'm just looking at the Walmart thing on my email, and they delivered it to the wrong house. And I don't know what's going on. I feel like there's R. Kelly trapped in the closet as I'm about to sing the song to it. But I'm like going in there, I'm like, all right. I come out, it is 6 in the morning, 6:30, and I'm in slides, and I'm wearing like a Disney villain T-shirt that I had. My pajama time, guys.
Damn.
My pajama time.
Do you have ring camera footage of that?
I don't. So, and here's the funny part of it. I'm like walking, because I didn't tell you this portion, because I had to leave immediately, go to that conference, so I dropped it off to you. So I'm there, I'm walking, I'm in slides, I'm in everything. All I need is a pack of Newports. I'm basically going to be like white, Omar from The Wire. And I'm literally there. R.I.P. My God. If anybody's seen that season 4, episode 2 episode, where he's going in and they give him Honey Nut Cheerios, or they give him drugs and he's just trying to get Honey Nut Cheerios, that was me. So I see 2 bags and I'm like, all right, that's mine. And it's like 4 houses down too. And here, when I got that package, they only have your name, but they don't have your first name. They have C. Trujillo. And I'm like, ain't nobody know my name. You know, like my neighbors within a 2-house proximity know me. I don't know what for. So I know I live in Florida, and this is how you know you live in Florida, because you learn how to ring the damn doorbell when you're entering someone's property. Because I'm not getting my head shot off, which is the alternative. So at like 6, it's 6:57. I remember it. I ring on poor Matt's doorbell because I got his name after it, and he just comes out. I woke him up. He was already kind of up at like that zombie stage. Woke up his children. Woke up the dog. I'm like, hey man, hey, Walmart delivered something, and he thinks it's from his house. Thanks, man. Like thinking I'm fucking weird going from it. I'm like, no, it's mine. I'm Charles. That's my name on it. Go from there. They just delivered it to the wrong house. I'm sorry to wake you up. I just, but I'm not going to go on there because you have a ring camera. I think I'm stealing from your stuff. It's my thing. I got to go from there. Oh, okay. And he just leaves. And they give me, so Walmart, what they didn't tell anybody that was cool about the order was they gave you like also chips and soda for a game. I'm like, oh, hey, cool. I thought they ruined it. And then like Walmart's like,
that's right.
Yeah, and I'm like, oh, hey, this is cool. So I'm like cheesing somehow to some degree. And then I'm like, all right, okay, that's neat. What else am I gonna do? And then so I'm going in, and I'm just like, all right. Walmart's like, please leave a review. What did you go from there? And I don't do ratings. I think they're arbitrary and all this stuff. But really, also you're independently contracted, so like the whole purpose of that makes no sense to me. But I gave my deliverer 1 star because you're talking about a $500 console and you delivered it at the wrong house where my address is clearly there.
Yeah.
What the fuck do you want about? What are you, high at 6 in the morning? How good is crack if you're high? Come on, man, at 6 in the morning. So anywho, then I go and I drive down to Francisco, and I'm like, what the hell is this building? So this is the first time I've actually seen Francisco in a professional capacity, because I've known this man for like ever.
True.
Like almost going on 11 years.
Yeah, we've never seen each other at work.
Yeah. I mean, you guys see me, like, I'll send you stupid videos of me when I have to do my public speaking stuff when I sell out, which always shames me. But then I see him in this big round thing looking like Alan Wake. So I come in, and there's your secretary, and she's looking at me like, who's this man? Like, dressed like a lawyer? Is he like opposing counsel? Because I was in my casual Friday thing, where it's everything but a tie kind of thing. And then I see the other guy that's there. I'm like, oh, I'm here for Francisco. That's all I say. I
Yeah.
don't do introductions. I got this bag. They're probably hoping it's not a gun or something. And I'm like white as hell, so they probably think I'm ICE, just waiting to go get you guys for like helping out immigrants trying to live in the U.S. Whatever, right? I'm being petty right now. And then I see Francisco, and then take it from there, Francisco.
Yeah, so yeah, obviously it was there. It was the bag out there. You made it was kind of open because I knew you had
I
to
had to inspect.
you had to check the package, right? So I get that, and so like we hugged, a pretty tight hug. I was so happy, and you had to go, so I'm like, okay, all right, and so you leave and everything like that, and Omar, who was the guy that you saw there at the front desk, so he's in his like mid-20s and stuff like that. And so he's like, "Oh, who's that?" I was like, "Oh man, that's one of my best friends. He just, oh my god, I can't." And so I couldn't wait. I had to open. Like you were in the elevator. I don't know if you had seen, and we had security cameras too. So
I just bailed.
I wish. Oh man, I should have asked for that footage. I'm sure it's erased by now, but I ripped open this package. And Omar's like, "Whoa, what is it? What is it?" And he's like sitting down at his desk, and I lift it like Link lifting the Triforce, and I'm like, "Ah!" I legitimately lifted it into my air like Rafiki and Simba. So I'm like, "Yeah!" And Omar's like, "Oh my god! Oh my god!" And Aisa was the Puerto Rican girl that you saw there. She's like, "What is it? What is it? It's the Switch 2! Oh my god!" I'm like, "Ah!" And so we were just going crazy. We're like, "This is it! This is it!" And so
it's happening. It's finally happening.
Yeah, and like Maddie, the office manager, she walks in. She's like, "What is it? It's the Switch 2!" And he's like, "Maddie, you don't know. I tried to pre-order it. I couldn't get it." That was Omar trying to tell her, and I'm like, "I actually have it." And so then I run back to my office, and Omar's like right behind me, like, "There it is! Oh my god! Oh my god!" And then like I put it into my briefcase, and I just kind of left it there. I'm like, it's there, and I was just looking at it throughout the day.
Isn't that the biggest anxiety? Just afraid that you're gonna drop it, right?
So I was just looking at it throughout the day, and I'm like, oh my god, there it is. Like I wasn't even afraid to drop it. I was just like, oh my god. And so maybe like an hour goes by, and then Omar's coming by again. I'm like, Omar, you want to unbox it? He's like, really? He's like, you'll unbox it with me? I'm like, yeah, we'll unbox it together. And so we go ahead and we start unboxing it. I'm like, oh my god, oh, there's the controllers.
Those cheesy 80 movies where they have like friends bonding when they're getting the new like action figures or something like that, like that South Park episode where they're just getting
I legitimately felt like a kid again. In that sense, where you just got the new console, you got the new toy, you got this thing that everybody else wants, and so we're looking at it, and I'm just sharing it with them. We're like, here, look at it, look, feel it. Oh my god, the screen's so much bigger. Oh, the matte finish is actually better than the Switch one. And so we're like kind of going through it. I'm like, oh, okay, all right. And so like we had it open, and my office manager walks by, so I'm like, hold it. I'm like, hold it. She's like, okay. I'm like, and so I'm like, look, feel it. Do you understand? And eventually, I'm sitting down and I'm trying to get work done, and I still see it. It's still in my briefcase, but the Switch 2 is actually out now, and I'm just like, what if I just start setting it up now? That way, when I get home, I don't have to set it up as much, right? So I plug it in, I log into the office Wi-Fi, and I'm trying to set it up together, and I'm like, oh, and then it reaches the part where you need your original Switch 1. And I'm like, damn it. Okay. All right, I'm up to this part so far. All right, so then I get home. And yeah, I had it before you did. So I did the setup, and I kind of pre-warned you, like, hey, man, this is going to take a while.
I was lucky because when I played it, the transfer didn't take me too long.
I don't know. I think the fact
hours,
is, I think the internet in my place was just kind of being bad that day. For whatever reason, because I started setting up and it just took forever for me to download some stuff, but I just prioritized Mario Kart World so I could actually play it the night of.
Which is what I'm currently playing as we speak.
So finally set everything up, and then finally got through Mario Kart World and all that stuff, and then downloading all the other updates, and finally all set up, and I just started buying like you said, the accessories. So you bought.
But you need them.
Yeah, so you sent me the 512 gigabyte one, and I bought that from Walmart for the memory card. I bought a extra dock as well for my other room, and also if I want to travel with it. So
Which I get.
So I've got that now, but and then I thought I bought a second dock, but apparently I didn't. But it actually ended up going well because I bought a like a thing that goes on top, like the dock goes on top of that charges all your other controllers.
Ooh, yes.
I showed that to you. So
Yeah,
I've
I
got
forgot
that set
about
up. So I and like all the Switch stuff works on it. So you, I don't
And
really,
that's the beauty about this damn console.
I don't really need to buy anything different. You of course succumb to the Pro controller too.
It's so good, the battery life, man. And
Yeah,
the thing is, like, I'm not gonna get Joy-Con drift, which I
yeah,
didn't really get on the other one.
and
But
I'm
I don't like
assuming
the size.
the Rumble's better in this one.
Yeah, I'm playing that right now. I've noticed some things. The hardest
I'm
thing.
sure
oh,
you'll.
I'm gonna talk
We're
about
gonna
this.
really feel it in Donkey Kong. I think that's where you'll
Yeah.
notice it.
Well, I'm gonna discuss this Pro Controller because it was a hefty price.
Yeah.
But
Let's review the accessories that we've got so far.
Sure.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So this
We're
dock
a
thing.
fandom show, everybody.
So let me find the actual name of this thing because I actually will recommend this because it's really nice. It works for the Switch 2 controllers and the Switch 1 Joy-Cons as well. So
yeah, that has my interest as I expand more shit onto it.
yeah, and
Well,
it looks pretty seamless as well. It looks like it was originally part of it, which is pretty cool. Let me find the actual name for this thing because I initially thought it was that, but it's actually a charger. But either way, I bought it and then I set it up. I was kind of disappointed. I'm like, oh, I thought it was a second dock, but it's called Fastnail's 8-in-1 charging dock. Okay, so it can actually let's see how it can charge 8 Joy-Cons. Okay, why is it 8-in-1? Oh, that's why. That's why. So it can only charge 4, but it has the charging for 8 different things, which is 4 of the Switch 2 Joy-Cons or 4 of the Switch 1 Joy-Cons. You kind of mix and match them however you want. So that's what it is. 8-in-1. It connects right to the dock, which is great. Bought the second dock. Get the HDMI 2.1 cables, the high-speed ones, please, because that's how you're going to get the 4K and the 120 FPS with a actual monitor that can handle it. Charles has one in Ramona. I've got one with my ultra wide.
and they provide. Is there HDMI cable 2.1 that Nintendo gives you or no?
Yeah, that's the one they give you. That's the one that comes with it. And if you buy a second dock, it comes with the extra adapter, the power adapter, and extra HDMI 2.1 cable, which is actually super nice of Nintendo, which they honestly don't normally do. So,
and I mean, if you couldn't do a power dock, a good USB-C charger could do it. But
it has to be at least 60 watts because all the old ones that I had for the Switch 1 do not work with it, or won't charge it to the point where it can power on the on a monitor. So, but try it out. It actually is 120 FPS, people. I'm sure you've seen it with Mario Kart, Charles.
So the thing that's been, as I'm playing it right now, the thing that kills me on Mario Kart, I couldn't tell if it's 60 or 120, right? I did play a little bit on that.
Well, it's not 120 consistent, obviously, for certain parts, but it maintains it at the very least.
Yeah.
But I've noticed it.
The idea is we're also working on hertz. So we should, there's frame per second and then there's hertz, which is your output. So one's like what you're seeing, what's being displayed. That's the layman's way of how I'm going to explain it to you. And both are equally important. It's the 4K HDR resolution. I can live with 60 FPS on a lot of modern games.
Right.
I'm not the biggest snob. I can live with that. You know what I mean? But I'm looking at Mario right now, and he's wearing this red cap, and it's so realistic looking to me, and colorful and beautiful, that I'm like, holy Christ on a cracker, man. Like, what is this? Like, that's what I'm talking about. Because you don't have it. Because what people got to remember is that what we were stuck with the Switch 1 was, handheld being 720, right?
Yep, 720.
And then, like, you're talking about 1080p, and the problem is, unless you got a 1080p television, it's always going to kind of look washed. And I always notice that even on Ramona, but I'm not going to complain. I just play it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
And,
but,
and a lot of people don't know about, like, dynamic resolution, where the games are running at less than that. And the beauty of the Switch 2 is now it can actually hit, at the very least, 1080p on the games that should be on it right now, right?
Which is perfect, perfect for anybody who is playing Switch 1 games on their Switch 2. My buddy's like, there's only one game for it. I'm like, yeah, but he also sold his Switch originally back in the day. So I'm like, but you can just play all this other stuff that comes into it on the backlog, that you get these enhancements and these upgrades. And there is a sizable difference on some of these games. Like, I'm very sad I traded away Bayonetta 3, but it's not a game I would replay. I'm jealous of you. But you're getting like workable 1080p.
Yeah, I'm gonna play that and Origins actually. So that's a Halloween, right? Spooky time.
Yeah, spooky season. We're gonna count it.
So we'll do that.
So that is my. So I guess we're talking about reviewing accessories, right?
Yeah.
Sorry. So Pro Controller right now, it's slightly less bulkier than one. I don't know if you played the first one, but they're all the same, right?
I've held it. I've held it at at stores and stuff. Yeah.
The Rumble is interesting, but I'm just playing Mario Kart, and I think come back to me when we play DK and Metroid, right? So Metroid's gonna be the hardest one because I'm gonna be like, do I want to play with the mouse component or am I gonna want to do with the Pro Controller? Because playing Metroid Prime Remastered on my Pro Controller was life changing. Like that was my swan song game, ladies and gentlemen, and it was a perfect swan song game. No exaggeration on that, but I like it. The battery life is always gonna be good. It has a smoother kind of feel to it. Not as it's sexier. It's leaner. It's the Ozempic. It's the Ozempic controller. And the thing is that I won't even trade away my other Pro controller because I'm just gonna have these two, and we can all play it together. We might get Split Fiction. We might do some Mario Party, Mario Kart. You can bring this console everywhere. And for my few friends, because I got like one friend who's like, I like it, but I can't just like right now afford to drop $500, which is understandable. Even if you trade in, you're only gonna get like $100 something from it, so it's $300 is very sizable, but it's still expensive.
For us, I think people are. I just want to say people who want to get in on the Switch too, because some people are like, okay, fine, you don't have to get in right now. You don't have to. Mario Kart World is fine. I like it. I think you think 8 is still better.
But 8 recency bias. I was literally playing 8 up until I got card.
Yeah,
you know what I mean.
And World, I like the little challenges with the free roam and all that stuff, and I thought the courses.
Free roam
I like the courses, and I really do like the aspect of Knockout Tour. That's been really fun.
Knockout's interesting. It's actually harder against the computer.
It is. It's pretty hard, and online it's pretty insane as well.
It's not a full course meal yet, but I know they're gonna make it to a full course meal.
Right.
That's the best way I'll describe it.
And I think they're gonna add updates to it because 8 had updates all the way to the end of the Switch.
That's the recency bias. I had 96 levels to choose from.
Right.
And playing against online people was fine.
So keep going. Sorry.
I think it could be faster, but visually it's more beautiful. And the thing is that you needed a change, and this was the change. So I'm thoroughly fine with it. But the thing is, like, y'all motherfuckers on the internet, 14, 15, Chris and like Sailor, y'all talk too much about like you don't have anything for launch. I'm not here for a one-time adventure like going to Universal or Disney or Busch Gardens, which I've got to. Right, that's a one-time adventure. Go for it. This is a console. I'm gonna dedicate time to it for 5-6 years.
Right.
You played the long con, but people, and the thing is, in the heart of hearts, I think people know this is just they're just dumb. But that's the thing. Like in the next 4 or 5 years, I have 3 Switch games right now that I can attack if I wanted to. Unicorn Overlord, Scarlet. The thing is with Pokemon, it's not like I can't do like 10 hours of it each day the way I did like Lies of P just to speed it up, kind of thing. It's more or less like it's the game I put 5 to 6 hours in a week before bed or something like that and listen to an audiobook because it's the way I curate it and I enjoy doing it like that. And then I have like another game that I forgot about that I have or not because my backlog is like ridiculous, right? And then we will build when Bonanza comes out next month. Prime's probably coming out in September near your birthday. That's like my estimation. There's other games that are coming.
Or at least by spooky
season. Bayonetta Origins is the other one. That's spooky. That's another spooky. But that's my other Switch game.
Yeah.
It's all gonna be good, baby. And I could buy some Switch games if I wanted to. Man.
Well,
Like,
that's what I was also looking at, but I just wanted to make the point that for people who had the Switch 1 around that first year or first year and a half, if you've had that console, because I got the Switch 1, I didn't get it at launch, but I got it by my birthday.
I got it when my grant got renewed, so that was about September or October 2017.
Okay, so we both got ours around the same time. So
yeah, because we attacked Splatoon. Oh, side note, guys, Splatoon's great.
Oh yeah,
got
the update. Yeah, I got the update.
And it's gonna get more.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like Summerfest is starting this weekend, I think, or next weekend, one of the weekends.
Got a little erect right there. Sorry.
Yeah. Got new weapons, new items, and they added one more stage, and I'm hoping that
they brought back Urchin Underpass.
Yeah,
man.
yeah. So I'm hoping maybe
clinical.
At least one more, because I'm going to assume 4 is coming out next year.
Yeah, I think 4 will come out this September, because that would give about 3 years or 4 years from when.
Yeah, 3 years.
Came out.
Yeah, 4 years since the other one came out, which was 4 years from the first one, I think.
Yeah, because I
for the second one actually. If you got your Switch around that early period, then I say, and you really liked your Switch 1, then I would think the upgrade is worth it, because you're gonna see the actual difference.
And you can still use your same accessories.
You're not leaving anything back. You don't have to buy any new accessories. Actually, you can just roll the way that I'm rolling right now, which is I've got 2 pairs of Joy-Cons from the first one, and I got the one that came with this one. And I've got a retro bit or 8-bit though, actually 8-bit though Super Nintendo controller that got an update for the Switch 2 and now works with it flawlessly. So I'm set on controllers. Charles got his Pro. He's got the Pro 2 now, and he's got one, or you got two. You got the 2 sets of Joy-Cons?
I have the 2 Pros. I have my Switch 2 Joy-Con. I have my Nintendo Switch Joy-Con. And this is what I talk about Nintendo. I have like the Power A, wired ones.
Yeah.
And you can't trade those in, right? But that's the whole thing. I just have a dearth of it. I got nieces and nephews, right? If they want to play, my niece is 3.5. She's gonna be interested. She can have the wired one.
Yeah. And it's been great, because now my sister has it as well. So
did she pick it up?
Yeah. So everybody's got it, and playing with 4 players is easy. So you're not. This has probably been one of the easier transitions from one console to another. I think Xbox was the same way, because it's the same controller. PS5 was just like, I think you still use PS4 controllers on the PS5, right?
Yeah, you can.
Yeah, but you need the PS5 for certain features and stuff. But
yeah, but the thing is, you can play just like the PS, and that's literally how I kind of treat the PS4 and the PS5. Is the same way I kind of treat the Switch and the Switch 2. And I know some people are like, "What the hell?" But it's kind of true. Like, things went higher. There were big leaps technologically in the PS4 to PS5, and the same thing is there was big leaps that went on between Switch 1 and Switch 2. Don't compare to what the other people have on their plate. Compare what's in your cup.
Yeah.
Before, kids, you guys were just getting, you were just getting McNuggets, no fries. Now we got a combo meal, baby. We got a combo meal. I'm playing 4K Mario.
And
you guys don't understand what that means to me.
And I think this is also a great system for people that don't really want to go as far as getting something like the Steam Deck.
I've played a little bit, and so the allure of the Switch that I wasn't doing at the final year and a half or 2 years, because there was just nothing I wanted to do it that way, because I was kind of over the console. You know what I mean? I think you understand what I mean by that statement, because you knew what was coming. I loved everything it was giving, but I was kind of over to it.
Right.
But there is,
and me too. I was playing exclusively PC for the last, at least this entire calendar year before we knew it was coming.
Yeah, but hockey and basketball playoffs, when I got my Switch 2, just like I did it with Switch 1, baby, I just sat on my bed, popped up some pillows, watched and played, man. Watched and played. And I like the concept of Steam Deck, but you can't even dock it to the TV, right? I think somebody told me they could, but I don't know.
Yeah, but you have to. The Steam Deck is much like anybody with a PC. It's the same. It's the same thing. It's like you can have a console or you can have a gaming PC, and the console thing is you just want that simplicity, right?
Yeah, the console gets a lot of focus too from developers.
Right. But you've got the main one. You've got the PS5, right? So,
Yeah.
and that's the combo that everybody should be rolling with. It's you have a handheld and you have a main system.
And my other thought to that, real quickly onto it, is the allure of it is that one of my buddies goes says, "I thought you would hold out for the OLED." I actually hate handheld gaming because it hurts my neck half the time. Because I was stuck with the Game Boys. These bigger screens, I'm like 1080p is fine by me because here's the truth. Even though I'm a snob, and there's no kind of way of calling me anything, but I'm a snob when it comes to this stuff. An OLED that's only projecting 1080p, what's that to me? Because it's just going to make a 1080p shinier.
Right.
So save the money and buy game. That's the legitimate truth. And
that's probably what Nintendo thought when they made this.
Yeah. You know, I'm playing a game that actually can project on my OLED television. Some people are like, "Oh, well, why do you care so much about an OLED?" And this goes back to a combo we had 3 years ago. Well, 4 or 5, and then I executed the plan of getting a Ramona. Is that, you know, like, you're going to get color enrichment. There was 2 things coming to the new generation that each developer was going to have a hard time selling on. Color enrichment. It's not that the graphics look good. It's the fact that, like, does my television have the capacity to make the graphics look excellent? Because, you know, some people kiss the pig with lipstick. You know what I mean? That's all I'm saying, right? Because that's all you know, right? And then the other thing was how you can do sound ambiance, because I was correct in that prediction. I told you this, where it wasn't so much going to be just graphics. I think we do hit graphical peaks every now and then. You know, they'll figure some stuff out, but I'll still hold to it. It was going to be sound design for a lot of stuff. Side note, the Mario Kart World soundtrack is the tits, as the kids say. But it was about, like, when you play a game like Death Stranding, right? We're excited for that, kids. What that sound ambiance is going to be. That's why you have to go to the next step and be like, okay, you know, can I get, you know, like this and that? What does a TV also have a sound? Do I need to get a sound bar? Do I need this? And that goes into the Switch, which I'm bringing it all back to. The Switch 1 sound design, whatever. I usually would have headphones. But I've played around with the Switch 2 and its sound inside, internally in the machine. It's actually quite superior.
It is. Yeah, there's more, like, I think it has, like, Dolby Atmos and a bunch of other stuff, right?
Yeah. I can't complain. You know, so that's the thing. It's like this has a luxury where now I will play more handle. Not so much in the summertime, because why? It's summertime. There's nothing on, right? Baseball. But baseball, you know, just watch baseball. But, you know, go from there. But rarely I don't have MLB TV. But once we get back to football, once we get back to basketball and hockey, which, you know, like hockey itself, right? Like even me watching it, when they were going to the postseason and they had like the 20-minute intermissions going on, 15 really. But I was like, all right, I'm just gonna play dedicatedly to Mario Kart. It's gonna, like Francisco said, it is a good alternative for people who want a handheld and then a console as well. And the good thing is, like, you know, it's not the sexiest components that you have. It's a strong enough machine, but if you have a multi-tier console, then you're probably going to buy the bigger games on PS5. If you want something that's convenient to go, and if you have traveling jobs, and Francisco and I are going to have traveling jobs, then it appeals to me because I can just do a couple hours on my deck. The battery life I'm still playing with because because you know what the problem is, man? I keep it docked all the time.
Yeah.
So I can't like gauge it. And I don't have any trips coming up yet. I might have to go to Massachusetts for wedding prep. Love you, Ben. You know, it is just grumpy, but we'll see. But you have to get the accessories. So back to the accessory stuff. Sorry, we went off the beaten track, but you have to give a review.
I mean,
this is something we've been planning for 2 years. I have to give you an honest review.
Yeah, I mean, this is kind of like our first impressions of the Switch because we're 3 weeks into it now.
Essentially, feels like a lifetime.
3 weeks into it, I think I've tried some of the enhanced games already that were the Switch ones. So I played Mario Odyssey just to see what it's like.
I'm tempted. I'm gonna pop that up. I gotta go to the moon. I don't want to restart a new game.
You'll see the difference. You'll see the difference for sure. It is incredibly noticeable. The resolution for sure, and I think they did add some higher res textures because it looks great. It looks like it. like if you had to tell me it was a Switch launch game, a Switch 2 launch game, I would have believed it.
I mean, I don't think I've ever replayed. Well, that's actually a lie. If you look at my whole Super Mario 3D World stuff, but not 3D World, but whatever, all Superstars.
Yeah.
But I don't think I've like replayed a Mario game on the same console that wasn't 8 or 16-bit.
Right.
Same console is the whole thing, but I'm kind of like stereotyped. If I get free time,
the upscaling, yeah. I mean, it's nice to just kind of look around and see. Oh wow, okay. So just to see some more detail like that, and it's good for like my sister because I'm
I get 120 FPS on it.
Because we have the family account, and now they have like this virtual card thing that they do, which is basically like okay,
which is so. Thank you, Nintendo, for that. Yeah, some people don't see it, but like you have siblings and stuff like that.
So she's got Mario Odyssey loaded on her Switch or Switch 2, and now can play it. So, and it looks good. And now she's gonna get the experience of Mario Odyssey in 4K, which I'm kind of jealous of in that sense. But tried that. Obviously, tried Splatoon 3, and we noticed the difference right away for that one for sure.
Yeah. Especially when you get the dynamic.
And if you notice the download size of that, it was a few gigabytes. So they really did put in some work for that one.
Yep.
Obviously, I'm waiting for Kirby and the Forgotten Lands because I've played it, but my sister has it and I can borrow the cartridge and I'll pay for the update.
Literally, my bigger regret is I traded in because out of all games, getting something. I would not have seen Kirby because I thoroughly enjoyed Forgotten Lands. I gave it an 8, right? Mm-hmm. Maybe a 7.5, but 7.5 on a Kirby is like essentially an 8.5. It has the Sonic logic in there, but yeah, it was cute, man.
Yeah,
I need happy games.
So I'm ready. I'm waiting for that. I'm not gonna buy the Zeldas because
I thought about it too.
Yeah, and we've kind of gone over like, can we go back to Hyrule, because that was such an experience that I don't want to
piss on it.
Yeah, basically. Yeah. I'm ready for Hyrule Warriors. That'll be my way of returning to Hyrule.
I actually might pick up the definitive edition that was on the Wii U. They got bumped.
The first one? Yeah, the first one.
Yeah.
Because
I never touched it. Especially, I played it with a buddy at his house, but not past
it. It's fun. It's a fun game. I never thought of buying it but I think it did get that one also got
a big boost.
It got an enhancement as well. So that one got an enhancement. What else have I? I haven't played Bayonetta yet. I haven't played.
You have Zelda Echoes of Wisdom.
No More Heroes 3 got an update, but you played the PS5 version, so
yeah, like that. You're gonna love it though on the Switch.
You
can just get on the PC though.
Like from what I mean I could, but I already have it, and the enhancements are basically like just the frame rate, which is the whole thing.
Frame rate is everything. Yeah, frame rate is everything, and the people. When it goes back to people on
and No More Heroes is a stylized game where they knew exactly what kind of game they were making. It's kind of like a B movie game, and that's the entire point of it. So the enhancements, like they're never gonna make Suda 51's never gonna make a game like that's a AAA quality for that. He lives in that sort of spectrum of a B movie, a B game. So and that's why we like it. Let's see. Have I tried anything else that was enhanced? I'm not sure, but
I was anticipating you doing Echoes of Wisdom because I heard
I haven't because I can't beat Mario and Luigi.
I'm so sorry. I felt like I dodged.
Oh my god! I can't believe I can't beat this game. It just won't end.
You're unhappy with it too.
I can't bring myself to play another Switch game until I beat it. I'm going on.
I understand that.
I'm going on another trip tomorrow. I'm going to Baltimore with my dad. We're going to a baby shower.
You're going to the game?
We're going to go to an Orioles game, but at the same time, we're going to a baby shower. So I'm kind of killing two birds with one stone with that. And I'm going to once again put in another couple hours in Brothership and see if I can just get this game over with. Because I know I'm within the last 5 hours of this, but it won't end. I would have ended this game.
Complaining about Lias of P.
I would have ended this game 5 hours or 10 hours ago. Actually, I think it's the weakest Mario RPG that I've played so far, and a lot of people, shit on 12 on Paper Mario Sticker Star or Color Splash on the Wii U and the 3DS, but I actually thoroughly enjoyed those games, and I just can't get through this. I don't feel it.
Gaming system. We're gonna have to do the gaming reviews too, because you and I played a lot of games.
Yeah, we did actually. We let's see. I mean, we're almost hitting the 2 hours here, and we haven't even talked about wrestling or anything like that.
Wrestling next show. I got to catch up on a lot into it.
There's a lot to catch up on. We already talked about the Cup, and we're talking about the Switch 2 today.
I did not get Super Smash at WrestleMania, to which I forgot it like SummerSlam, guys. Be proud of me.
Yeah, and then next episode we'll talk about the games that we've played so far this year. You are probably gonna try that thing from Wendy's, I'm assuming.
I did try it.
Oh, all right.
I did try. I sent you the pictures of it, the video.
I didn't see it. Oh, I didn't see it. Actually, let's.
Because you told me wait for the show.
Oh, okay. Let's do it now because I think this is our Switch 2 review. So far, I think if you, it's not absolutely necessary for everybody. Mario Kart World is fine. I like it. I think it's fine for anybody that likes Mario Kart for sure. And if you had the Switch 1 since like the beginning at the very least, the first year and a half of it, then I think the upgrade is worth it. Everybody else, if you want to wait, Donkey Kong comes out next month, Metro to come out later. You'll have a lot of games by the holidays if you want to get it then.
And I got it for free, so I can't hate it.
Yeah. All right, so that's our Switch 2 review for now. We'll come back to this later on in the year, especially after spooky season and we're heading into the holidays. So, Wendy's.
All right, so we know I love Wendy's. I get fast food once a month. I've been kind of bad in the time period where I've had it like twice a month.
I've been really good with it. I didn't have any at all in May. I waited until I didn't have any at all in May.
That's always good.
In June, I was in a pinch twice, so I kind of burnt my May one by double dipping in June in the first week of June, and then I didn't do it after that. So that's where I'm at right now, but I've been really good with it so far. And we're working out. We're still working out. We're still, especially you. I'm working out.
I'm religiously working out.
Yeah, but I'm working out too. Baby. So I got the personal trainer and all that stuff, and I don't know if you noticed when you hugged me, but I got a bit more muscle on me, for sure.
I did. I think I complimented it.
Yeah. So
we're very body positive in this team.
It's my upper body. You can really tell, for sure.
Yeah, we're hot Goof summer.
Yeah.
I've coined for 3 years.
Yeah, and Andrew's swimming and all that stuff. He's going to the gym too. So, but yeah. Wendy's. Sorry.
So first off, what I will say is I taught Francisco how to beat the system on the fast food stuff because he didn't realize that when it comes to your fast food day, you would just order it all and eat everything there. There's nothing to stop you. And it was because back in April or March, I hadn't eaten all day. I was starving.
Yeah, you were sick. I think right? You were sick.
I was sick. I don't know what I had. It's just one of those things where I'm weird because I can never call it a cold or if I'm sick because I'm I get a little. My immune system's I'm literally sick for a day and a half at most. Mm-hmm. It was Rona was the last real sickness I had, and that was 2-3 years ago, right? Come on. So, I taught him some things. So he had talked about the Wendy saucy nugs, and he was like, oh, well, blah 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 blah, and I was like, well, you know what? I want to try it, right? I'm going to try it. And this is when I had my Ghost Ranch chicken pepper sandwich. And instead of just doing the combo meal, I just asked them for the sandwich. And I just got the saucy nugs, the big platter, buffalo. And then I'm like, okay, so now the new trick to show was if you're going to order it, you don't have to just keep it to your typical sandwich or burger and sides. Just get as much of the meals that you want. And that's it. And I ate it all. It was great. They took off the Ghost Ranch chicken sandwich, and I hope they burn in hell for it. How dare you hurt my feelings?
Yeah, and they kind of they sprung the news on you really quickly too.
I didn't know because I was like, it's true.
You had no chance.
Yeah, I'm like, oh yeah. Had I known, I feel like that Ron Swanson episode when he finds out that the steakhouse closed in Parks and Rec. He's like, I wish I could have been there because she suffered. That's literally was me. I've been. The Ghost Ranch chicken pepper sandwich is one of my favorites. It's the second greatest chicken sandwich I've had aside from Frank's Red Hot that I got from Checkers that I still think about. Like, yeah, I don't know, man. Like,
the basis of why when we get the money, we're gonna start a Checkers
we're bringing
franchise.
Checkers, yeah, and I'm gonna bring it back. Bring it back. I don't give a shit. So, 19, I got a potty mouth today. So let's see if this trick works. So they got rid of it, and now they're doing a Takis hot chicken sandwich. It's like supposed to be dusted. They have Taki fries, and it comes with like
Takis Fuego.
I don't care much about Takis because they're kind of crunchy, too crunchy.
Yeah, I've never like if you had a choice, right? Would you choose that? Yeah, hot Cheetos or the spicy Doritos, or like what would you go after first, right?
Yeah, it's always the hot Cheetos, man. Like, hot fries, hot Cheetos. There's no doubt. But whatever, it's a new fad. It's new craze. Every kid in middle school got big. My nephew loved it. I'm like, what's so special about it? And I tried it. I'm like, it's okay. It's too crunchy, and the dust is good. Like, I will always evaluate the dust on any kind of chip, right? But I'm like, okay, but still. So anyway, they get it, and I looked at the picture. I'm like, okay, this looks entertaining. I gotta try it, man. I gotta try it. So I got it. I tried it, and I don't hate it. I got it because the thing is, I'm comparing it with God, right? Like, what am I supposed to do? That's the hard part. You're comparing with something that is unreasonable.
Yeah. And mind you, Charles has tried.
Everything.
You've obviously had the double down. I've had a double down too.
I love the double down. Yeah. My God, dude, why is that even legal?
I mean,
it shouldn't be illegal.
I mean, they got rid of the double down, which is
they could. I can send them the doctor bill.
Yeah,
I'm gonna need a double down when I'm feeling up, man.
Yeah, you had the KFC Cheetos, right? So you had that. That was like the first famously thing that we sent you to do.
Yeah, I had the nacho pimento from Wendy's, which I didn't care about.
I tried the what was it? What did I try at Taco Bell? Oh, the Cheez-It, the giant Cheez-It crunch.
Yeah, I missed out on that one.
I
was like,
I'm glad you missed. I gave you the review for that one. It wasn't. It was.
Review Pro was very heavy in our lives, guys.
I haven't seen him in a bit, actually. I probably should get back on that.
He probably died of food poisoning from all this stuff.
He's up in Central Florida. He's still doing his thing. But yeah, no, but like, yeah, we criticize his reviews in that sense too. As we,
but admire him.
Yeah, but yeah. So you tried that. What else have you tried?
The Pizza Hut Hot Honey.
I missed. Did I miss that one?
It was not bad.
I was in Miami when that was going on, and I know that even in Miami they do the Pizza Hut shit 13.
Well, consider the fact that Cubans can't make your pizza.
Yeah, no, they can't. They really can't. And I ordered out of Hialeah. It was the worst Pizza Hut I've ever had in my life, and that was just a regular stuffed crust pepperoni pizza, and they screwed it up somehow. I'm not.
Yeah, I tried Palm Beach hot chicken. Yo, Dave's hot chicken sucks. I tried it. Y'all just want spicy with no flavor. Palm Beach hot chicken has a lot of flavor and spicy, but I can taste that chicken. Just saying. So yeah, we tried a lot of stuff. And remember, I was also on like the Oreo and Pop-Tart binge. I went on this journey for you guys, like the two people, Freddie and BU, if you guys are still alive and kicking, and all the other people.
I had the loaded Oreos recently.
Tell me about this.
Oh my God, is it good, Charles?
Remember, I live in a shack because I'm so routine that I'm not a danger to myself.
The loaded Oreos was just the Oreo cream filled with Oreos inside of it.
I know which one you're talking about.
Yeah.
I have misgivings on it for reasons. Because I think, I need diversity, but I also cookies and cream is my favorite ice cream, and there's no other superior one. But if it's kind of that same combo in that same vein, then you have my attention.
Oh yeah. I thoroughly enjoyed it for sure. But yes, so the Taki itself. So now the sandwich.
So, all right, I'm going to talk to you about it because it's a paired combo, right? You get the Taki.
So I've got the I've got it up here on the screen here for the video version. But yeah, Takis.
So the Taki, I have the Taki bag still out there, somewhere. But the Taki fries are stellar. I'm not even going to play. They're dusted fries. Have kind of a melted butter kind of taste to it. And I was excited for it because my buddy put me on. He's like, listen, I had them. They're good. I'm like, all right, fucker. Let's try it, right? 20. So I'm like, I had it. I'm like, oh man, these are so good. Because dusted fries, because Wendy's fries are the weakest out there. You know, Burger King
I'd have
can
to
be
agree.
too.
Yeah, I think Wendy's fries, like if they could like leave them just in just a little bit more, I think they'd be more solid.
Yeah, it's just like what's up. But something
Like
is night and day.
another 30 seconds, and they actually might be legit. I
Yeah,
think.
but the thing is, like, and I'm a creature of habit. When I go out to eat, I got to start with the sides. When I go get fast food, I got to start with the sides. Right? It's just who I am as a human being. So I go with the fries, and they're good. They're a heavy bag, man. They almost like kind of like Five Guys in for a second. So taking a bit, taking a bit. I'm like, okay, this is good. This is great. It's not hot enough, but it's tasty. I'm in love with this. Like I can go with this. But at the very bottom of the bag, be warned, is where all the dust and the oil kind of
Accumulates.
congeals.
Yeah. Ooh.
Yeah,
Okay.
accumulates. So I got one motherfucker, 21, and I put it in my mouth, and that was just all dust in my throat. Call me Jenna Jameson because I took it. I was like, oh my goodness, man. I was just,
Were you gagging? Did you gag a
I
little?
was coughing. So I'm like, oh shit. I'm like, what? I'm like the Idris Elba kind of thing. I'm like, what is just happening right
Yeah.
here? And it was delicious. I thought it was great, and I wanted more, but I had my fill because there's a little bit of that grease and that oil. It's kind of same thing if you have like hot dry rub chicken. You're gonna have very similar things that occur. Uh, 10 out of 10 fries. Like if they kept that permanently, I'm like, I
Mm.
get that all the time, man. Like I'm not playing. I'm straight up. I think dusting on. I think our fries in America has gotten soft, and you guys don't want to do anything sexy except say, hey, I got fries in the bag.
I love
I need.
seasoning fries, man.
I know, and I need diversity.
I love seasoning fries. Like
We
that's the one criticism every time like we're making like cookout food, that type of stuff.
yeah.
Like I like put some stuff on those bad boys, man.
They're
Get
too reliant on Dunkin' shit.
yeah. Yeah, I love seasoning fries.
Just it's a game changer. I don't care what you do, and that's also shout out to Palm Beach Hot Chicken because they have the seasoning, but they also I think they have a Parmesan glaze on their fries. I'm like,
Mm.
this is stellar. That is just a not brother. You gotta try it. I love it. And,
Where is this place?
yeah,
Hold on, where is this place?
Palm Beach Hot Chicken's got to be around here. It's one in Fort Pierce, so Derek and I are like, well, I'm like, I want to try it.
I'm gonna look
And they
this
don't
up on the
just do
screen.
this. Is my non-sponsor right here, right?
Yeah,
And
I'm
we're
gonna
gonna
look
give
this
you
up on
one.
the screen. Yeah, let's go.
It's not just like fried chicken; it's just fried food. So you get fried chicken, you
Palm
can get
Beach hot
snapper.
chicken. Let's go.
Yeah, you get snapper. You can get catfish. You get conch fritters. You can get gizzard. And I lived in Polk County. I had catfish,
Let's
motherfucker.
see
And
here.
it's good.
Where are you
Like
guys?
they're
Oh,
but they're
you're right down the street from my office. Oh,
and
no,
they're
wait, is that it?
cheap.
No, wait, hold on, wait. Maybe I was looking at the wrong one. Palm Beach hot chicken and seafood's got a rooster that's on fire.
Yeah.
Okay,
Better
all right,
better than
I'm
Days
looking-
Kitchen.
Fort Lauderdale.
But like those,
They got one in Fort Lauderdale, folks. So
yeah.
Fort
I'm not,
Pierce is getting one.
they opened up the Fort Pierce one. That's
Okay,
where I got it at.
okay. They call it Palm Beach hot chicken. They don't got one in Palm Beach. Are you kidding me?
I think there's a couple. Like I don't know.
I'm looking at the
What?
website. I just see Oakland Park and Fort Pierce. Unless the website's wrong.
The website has not been updated because I was vetting it because I looked at
Palm
DoorDash. I
Beach
saw
hot
like
chicken.
I'm gonna go on Google for you. All right, make your
Okay,
life easy.
Yeah, I will look on Yelp. Let me see. I just see
Yeah.
Oakland Park. I don't know.
They got like Jaws hot chicken. I don't know if it's a licensing rights that they got going on. But
I
when
have
you
no
see
idea.
the big rooster, it's there.
I'm not sure, but fine. Well, go ahead. Just keep going.
So like it's the prices are reasonable. So for like $12, and they got fried okra if you want okra. So like for $12, it came. I got because they have the hot rubs, right? So you get medium hot, blazing. You get a little bit lower or mild. I got one was a sandwich, which was a slider. One was a big ass chicken tender, and it was huge. I sent you a photo of it. I was in love. And you get a soda and you get a side for like $12.99, and then you could buy like pies and stuff, right? So I'm just trying to Palm Beach. I'm gonna go Palm Beach hot chicken. What do you got? PGA.
I'm on Palm Beach Lakes, but I don't know, man. Maybe it just might be the name, and it just
No,
happens to be.
There's
Yeah.
3101 PGA Boulevard in the Jade 205. That's by you.
Okay. Well,
think.
not by me. I'm on Palm Beach Lakes, but yeah, no, close
Oh
enough.
yeah.
All right. Either way, let's go.
So anywho, so like yeah, the price is
I'm
right,
looking
and
at
then
the menu. So
yeah, the price is like it's legitimately that price. Like Derek had 3 wings and 3 snappers with the fried okra and the
$6.99
fries.
for 3 wing. Okay, 10 wings for $13.99.
Yeah,
You got a 10-piece buffalo wings. You can get a 50-piece for $40. Wow.
yeah, yeah, but they are legitimately there and they're cooked right, and you can tell when it's bad fried food because it's overly crunchy, or it's too watery, right? It's soggy, like you can tell it's been in the freezer for a
Yeah.
bit. Not here, man. Not here whatsoever. But so this is how legitimate they are as a fried foods point. Their wings, they don't toss them in sauces. They'll bring you a sauce on the side. They're more about the fried food, the seasoning. But then you can get the Memphis, like the kind of like Nashville or Memphis rub,
Yeah.
if you're a connoisseur, on your chicken sandwich or your chicken tender. So I eat the sandwich. It's a slider kind of sandwich, so it's a perfect. I'm like, it's good. It's got a little bit of kick, but I'm like, fine. And then I look at the big old tendon, and I'm like, all right. I grab it with my finger and I lightly pull it, right, and it ripped off. And I just chuck it. I was like, I'm in trouble. And I see all this funny because that means it's cooked, and that means the moisture stayed in. When I can rip it with my fingers without like having to go to my teeth or cut it in. And then like I got an orange soda because I went pure Charles in 1999, 2000. If you're gonna give me hot stuff and orange soda, right, fried chicken, all that. So and I had some of my buddy's okra. Okay, I need this. So I take a bite, right, and I take a couple bites. And then my mouth just goes, dude. Like I'm like, oh no, I'm sweating. I'm sweating because like Dave's hot chicken is very much the same, but you don't taste the flavor, the juice of the chicken and the meat. It was just all the hot, and then it destroyed my colon immediately afterwards. But like I'm taking a bite out of it, I'm like, oh, this is good. This is good. The lip sweat. I got like the eyebrow going in, and I open up that orange soda, and I just start drinking. I'm like 3/4 of the way in, but I got through half of it, and I'm like, all right, man. I can do this. I can finish. And I finished the other half and go from there. And I didn't blow up the toilet. We were very happy. It was God's gift to mankind. Economical, affordable. You would love it. You like fried food. I think by you they call it Jaws Hot Chicken, Palm Beach County, but they're probably in a rename. And there's one 1258 Palm Beach Lake Boulevard.
I'm
Because
trying
it's
to
the same
find
thing.
it. I'm trying to find. Is it the same menu? Did you check?
Yeah, yeah. I'm looking at it right now. It's like the menu. Yeah, because they got the catfish, a chicken burger, tender blazing. They got tender combo 1, tender combo 2, tender combo 3, 3 wing dinner, 10 wing flight. Actually, no, maybe it's not the same. I don't know, man. Like that's the
I
problem.
mean, I
with
could
Google.
give it a shot and see if they're comparable.
Yeah,
And
yeah. Sometimes I have to, like let's endeavor you to be that person. But yeah, Palm Beach Hot Chicken promo code hot. But yeah, so I eat a lot of weird stuff for us. So I went for the Wendy's, and the fries are stellar. This was the problem with the chicken sandwich, and I think the sin that I committed is the holy sin that I told all you foodies like myself never do. Never go for fast food at like 8 at night because you're just gonna get the end of play stuff. And I'm gonna revisit it in July, but it is more like crusted as opposed to dusted, meaning a central part of the sandwich has all the stuff in there, and it's like the Takis and then like the little like cheese that they have in there. But I tasted more of the general chicken breast or the chicken sandwich that's in there first until we get to the middle, which isn't bad. Wendy's makes a mighty chicken.
No,
Sandwich,
I've always the ratio of the actual meat that you get at Wendy's is probably
Fair.
better than the other two, for sure. Especially since Burger King got rid of the King.
Well, I mean that was probably a blessing, Chris.
Oh,
We were eating
man,
the
what a
chicken too
summer.
much. Yeah, we were getting
God,
fat.
man.
We were getting
I
fat off
love
of that,
chicken.
man. I'm just
2021, baby. Woo.
yeah. We especially when there was a spicy chicken, and I was like, I need that in my body. We were putting in some work, man. We were putting in some legitimate work. That was
Before that
probably,
inflation hit.
yeah, because brother, we were doing it. So yeah, like so I made the sin, right? I made the sin of doing that. So I'm gonna revisit it. I'm gonna revisit it.
Okay. You can give
But
it a
when
second
we
shot.
did get
All
to
right.
you gotta do it. What I always tell you guys, 6 p.m.
I haven't
You
burnt
want-
mine for this month, so
You can try it, right?
Well,
Because
actually,
you
no,
know,
I did. I
you win.
did. I know. I can go into July with it. I'll go into July with it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, the thing is like you're win-win situation anyway because the hot, if it's actually the way it's conveyed, is in the middle as opposed to. I'd rather take a full press dusted
Hmm.
as opposed to in the middle, but you can't go wrong with it, right? You can't. So my review of it, Wendy's Takis, is 6.5
Okay.
out of 10 for the sandwich, 10 out of 10 for the fries. Remember, fast food purposes, 6.5 is perfectly fine. 6.5 is actually great. 6.5 means I'll order it again. Because if you look at it, it's like demonstrate that, but doesn't pour over to the edge.
Your philosophy is you can't have anything more than an 8.
You can't have it as a 10. So let's just eliminate the 9 and 10. And you're really putting it at an 8. And I understand when people say it's like, Charles, that's illogical. But I'm like, yeah, but it kind of makes sense for those who eat fast food.
Yeah.
Because if I'm paying $10 or if I'm giving something a rating of a 10, and maybe I'll reclassify. Say, hey, it's just really good. I recommend it. But it kind of defeats the purpose because fast food's just getting as expensive as a real meal these days. Yeah. And I'm not going to tell nobody, like, don't go for McDonald's where you just get Chipotle at the same price. Chipotle, I get, when I'm in my Fort Pierce office, I have one right there.
Have you been tempted on doing some of these new Frosty combinations that Wendy's is doing now?
So you know what the thing is even though I have a sweet tooth,
yeah.
I am so robotic that if it's not in front of me, I won't order it.
Right.
And
because they got the Oreo brownie, they got the Pop-Tart strawberry and a caramel crunch,
But I never attack Wendy's for the sweets, believe it or not. I don't do fast food sweets, and it just drives people crazy but I'm that person. I'm like, no, because I'll go see Pop-Tarts, like, yeah, I'm gonna buy this. I'll go see Oreos, like, yeah, I'm gonna buy this. I wish I loved Chips Ahoy more, but they're just not that good. Someone had to say it. You know what I mean? Like they ain't 1997 and they ain't gonna be 97. So if I bought it for a party or someone had it at a party, I'm like, yeah, I'll eat some Chips Ahoy. But they are the last on my mind. Right. I've never really hit because
the Red Velvet Chips Ahoy are good though.
Well, Red Velvet's a very odd. You gotta want it, man. It's never on like my pantheon of like I need it right now. I rather have Red Velvet cake, right? But I haven't been tempted to do the Frosty Swirls. Partially because if I look at the price of it, and I think that's what dissuades me from getting a lot of sweets, is I think sweets are so jacked up in price that it's really just trying to it's going to make me fat because I eat a lot. People don't realize how much of a big back I am because I could just put food down, man. You've been out with me when we talk. I'm like, yeah, I'm just going to do this Taco Bell. I don't give a shit.
Yeah.
And I'll just eat anything, but like the price of it isn't like really worth it for me because once you're going into like $4 or $5 range for a sweet like a Frosty and stuff like that, I'm like, well, I could just go to Publix or Walmart and buy their store brand, and then for $6 I have a gallon, and that's how my brain works. It is economical to a degree. You're the one who does it more. I did try the pineapple.
It's funny though. The Panthers' whole thing was with Dairy Queen. I didn't order Dairy Queen at all during the Cup run, but yeah,
I mean, look at that. That brownie vanilla is $4.19.
That's why I was curious as to the price around where we're at.
That Pop-Tart strawberry vanilla. I'm like, I don't want that. Like, if you bought it for me, I eat in a heartbeat. Like, right. Especially that Oreo, the Pop-Tart, I eat in a heartbeat, dude. I eat in a heartbeat. But like, $5.49, I can just get Ben and Jerry's myself, dude, or I can get the house brand of Walmart or Publix and call it a day.
Yeah.
And have more leftover because because the thing is like I think you play a dangerous game of when you're at a restaurant you get the dulce de leche, right? Or you get the tres leches.
Oh yeah.
Or you'll get like just a regular kind of cake that you want. And at Palm Beach Hot Chicken you can pay for $3.99. Get yourself a little bit of slice of pie. I recommend that.
They had a red velvet. They had a red velvet over there. I saw it.
I will have that when I go back there. Because I'm going to go back there. Hell high water. If these new opportunities take me away from it, I'm going to still go back and try it. Damn it, I'm my grave. I'm my grave, damn it. But yeah, I don't see it's not sexy. It's the same way how people tell me about Sonics, and you go to Sonics. I have a Sonics.
I've never had it. I've never had a good experience at Sonic.
Yeah, like it's just there. It's just there. I mean, I had a milkshake at Five Guys once. It was actually pretty stellar, but I had that with the burger and fries because when I'm a fat ass 22, and I just had to blow up that toilet. But I don't want to pay that money because it goes back to the whole logic I was talking about originally at Wendy's. It's like when you have your fast food cheat day, just get as much of the big food that you want. Because $5.49, I'm like, well, like that's just if you said, hey, you get the burger and then you get the shake, then I can get you. You know what I mean? But if you're doing the combo and stuff like that, I don't know. It's the same thing when people want to like upcharge for like the specialty sugary drink soda that they're making. right, for
yeah.
wherever. And I'm like, no, because the thing is, like, I'm actually a very. You guys would think like if they saw me in person, I'd be like this big old like Chad looking guy, but like I actually just drink a lot of water. I don't drink a lot of soda. Um,
Yeah, I mean, you and I are both on that. Where I rarely have a. If I have a soda, it's maybe once a month, but I go on like long spells where I don't have it.
yeah,
And
and
even when I
when
get it with like the fast food meal, I'll maybe drink like a quarter of it.
yeah, no, that was me. I had a Coke the other day. And I was like, because it was already there. At that time, I was like trying out everything, so I didn't switch it up.
Mm-hmm.
And like, I don't even like do alcohol. My alcohol with like Coke as a mixer because I'm like, no, that's just how you're packing it on, man.
Mm-hmm.
You know, those are such quick sugars and carbs. Like, okay, so when I got the orange soda at Palmy Tot Chicken, like that Fanta is 71 grams of sugar carbs.
Yeah.
And God bless, because I needed it at that time. But that's how they get you. But
No,
would I
Fanta's
try it?
awful
Sure.
compared to Jarritos.
You know, but oh my God, well, but, you know, listen, that's like saying that's the setting.
Like we haven't even got like there's a whole line of Latin sodas that we could talk about.
Inca Cola, man, like you'll lose your teeth.
Oh my God, Inca Cola. So one of my best friends when I was growing up was Peruvian.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Inca Cola is. I mean, like I was raised on that and Colombiana. You guys love your. Why do you love Coca Cola so much? The girls at the job.
We
like,
have
you know,
Milka, which is like red cherry soda. That's what Nicaraguans love.
Yeah, I know Milka. I know Milka. And then the one thing though, and I feel like I'm gonna get crucified for it, but I'm gonna say it because remember, I'm not. Yeah, I don't understand. You listen. Yeah, sure. You call me Hispanic, but I am Latina, right? I don't understand love for Malta to this day. Had it.
Yeah.
Had it multiple times. Can't marry the motherfucker, you know?
Yeah.
Malta, I don't even know how to explain it to people. Okay, so this is the best way I'm explaining to the Hispanics out there for the one person who listens. That's not you or me. So, you know this chicha morada, right?
Mm-hmm.
And there's just, and I've had chicha morada. My grandmother always makes it, and every time I want something to drink, and they're like, oh, I got chicha. I'm like, I don't want chicha. Chicha morada, purple corn, kids. In a liquefied paste, and they tell you it's sweet, and it's not sweet. It's just yeah. So you get chicha, right? Malta to me is like chicha, not in taste, but of it's how it is in reverence. It's a particular group of people, ethnicity, nationality, or demographic. I think the old heads love Malta a lot more than us young kids, and I'm still young, right? At 35 in comparison to who we know we're talking about here. You know, grandma. The same equivalent with like chicha morada. Yarito to this day. You know, it just hits a little bit better. It's tastier. You got 50 flavors. I had the guava. It wasn't bad. You know.
Yeah. Look, I like.
Do you like Malta? I need you to confirm.
No, not really. I've never really been into it. I can get behind chicha, a little bit, yeah. For sure.
Like, but what do you even pair it with? Like, I'm sorry, I didn't get off the fisherman field, Grandpa.
Yeah.
My grandpa lived in Peru, for those who don't know. When you're like, this is the whitest sounding man I ever heard. And you're like, oh, well, I am the legitimate definition of 23. And you look at me, and I'm like, you know, I'm like a MAGA's wet dream when you see me visually. And then I start talking, like, oh, this guy never shuts up, does he?
All
but
right.
Malta, man's a tough sell.
Yeah. Charles, we're at 2 hours and 19 minutes. I think we should
concluding thoughts.
Yeah, conclude it there. Yeah, I mean, you gave the final score there 6.9, 6.5.
Yeah, 6.5.
Yeah.
Fries are 10, hands down. Fries are 10, hands down. 6.5, and I will continue. I'll do it. So right. I'm gonna play an interesting thing because I never did this with a season opener, but I don't think we ever had as long as a gap. This is how I'm gonna include my bit. It's posing a question because we got some new opportunities, but I will tell, I guess, ourselves for audio records. I think the show is going to be more consistent now, even with like my classes and stuff like that coming into it. Even with new opportunities, I think it's going to be consistent. Maybe we keep it bi-weekly, stuff like that. We're not.
I get that. I mean, look, so the 6 months, work for me.
Not too much, man.
School for you, and then it kind of rolled. Like we were kind of sort of ready to go, but then like. Switch 2 came out. I was in the middle of the Stanley Cup playoffs, and it was worth it for me, for the Stanley Cup playoffs.
We were also burnt out.
A little bit. But I mean, this is a long enough gap where we kind of miss it, and also,
Yeah,
I kind of had that itch for it, especially during the
yeah, I
playoffs.
did too.
During the playoffs because, I would appear on Armando's show on Locked On Panthers podcast. Follow him, by the way. So one of my media friends. So I just kind of felt like, man, I haven't done anything creative in a while. I kind of been like, I need to do something, right? I already built my PCs. I was done with that. Like, I didn't have a thing, and my studio was kind of commandeered for the time being, and I actually finally have a shot to use it again. And the playoffs completely occupied my time, where I'm just like, man, I would really like to expound and do this. And now we're back, and I think we came at a good time off the cup win. Switch to we have like 6 months worth of stuff that we want to talk about for sure. And then run up to baseball. We're gonna get to the All-Star break and the trade deadline, because your team's in it, my team's out of it, and might give you some guys as well. So
I also have to
fun.
catch up. No Garrett Cole, but we have a freed FAP.
Yeah, the free FAP. We didn't even talk about that. We could talk about next show.
Yeah, this is the relaunch. But the thing how I'm gonna end my portion on, and then we go on, is posing a question. Now that we're back, and we're back. Sorry, kids, we ain't dead yet. Baby-ass kids, we don't die, we multiply. What is the focus that you want to do? We've always tailored about it, So this is Will You Be Your closing segment. What do you want the future or the vision of Sports Goofs 207 to look like?
Well, I mean,
now that you've had time to refresh and see.
At this point, it's never been about it being a sports show exclusively, at least at this point anymore. At the beginning,
a fandom show now.
Yeah, and I actually like that better as a description, right? A fandom show, not just about sports, but about gaming and TV and movies. Because I've been watching more movies this year, and you know that. And a few other things that we're enjoying, food especially, and just and our experiences, right? Experiences that we're having as well. Because I didn't talk about going to Denver or going to Baltimore or going to Seattle. I went to Seattle, right? And didn't really talk about that.
One day I'll go to Chicago, damn it, over my dead body, but I'm gonna do it.
Yeah. So there's a few things. So I kind of want this to be more. And I've been watching other podcasts and seeing how people do it, and just like the camaraderie and that sort of aspect. And I actually might give it a try to promote this a lot more than I have been recently, because I've just been so preoccupied with the Panthers and everything like that. But the off season's happening, and the Marlins suck, so I kind of have an open space where I can get back to making this my creative outlet again, because I'm done with the PC stuff and all that stuff. So yeah.
And that's why I'll find appreciation in the show, and that's why I'm kind of put out there what we look on, because it doesn't change the substance. But the hardest thing was doing literally full-time work and full-time school. And, the summer class was actually harder because of the time frame. Like, the classes are easy. Like, they're not tough. I'm not trying to toot my horn and anything. I'm not trying to diminish all things that my classmates did. It's just whatever. It's just, you get bogged down with busy work, right? It's about finding time. So I think for me, the ready to come back that I had, as I just got a pirate costume for Wario, super excited, is that I have something that's going to take me away from the mundanity. Like, I spent 7 hours today playing Lies of P. Good game. Right? We'll revisit that next week.
Next week we're going to go through a bit of a gauntlet through reviews of games, because we got a few of them that came out this year, and some of the stuff that we've had in our backlogs.
So the idea is that, Bukowski said, find what you love and let it kill you. And I think for me, I enjoyed and kind of love what we do with it, because you really realize when you and I are professionals, there might be an opportunity that I have that's going to make me into a super professional. Can't say on the air fully for like maybe the one person at work who knows I do this. But you really kind of I think this allows you to kind of take off your mask a little bit in the professional world, and then your individual identity, and just kind of be yourself. And what I would say is, I encourage people. Yeah, there's an oversaturation of podcasts and everything, but just stay tuned, follow, and do your own thing too if you guys are interested in it.
Mm-hmm. All right, so we're gonna leave you at that, and we'll see you guys next week, and we'll see if Andrew will be on to talk about what he's been doing as well. So, bye everybody.
Take care.